Hi, welcome back guys. This is your sensei. Back with another fanfiction. This is the first part of What If Naruto Became Whirlpool God? Now before starting, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like this. Now let's get into the fanfic. October 10th. Naruto was running through the streets in the night, but not because it was fun, he was running for his life. There were a lot of villagers with torches trying to kill him. Demon. Return my brother Bisiri. Go to hell already. Monster, were some of the things the people yelled at the poor kid. Tired, Naruto tripped. The mob caught him and the senseless beat started. Between the screams of the people you could hear the little kid pleading for them to stop. It hurts, I beg you, stop. It hurts. Meanwhile, in the shadows witnessing all, was a man that halted his escape from the village and the sin that he had just committed. Although he knew the truth of his actions, it didn't make it any easier. He was about to leave, when a piercing scream filled the air. One of the villagers was about to deliver a fatal blow right on Naruto's chest, when a kunai went sliced his throat. Just when the lifeless body was about to fall, a smoke bomb was set out, and once everything was clear again, the rest of the villagers saw that the blonde was nowhere to be seen, and that, in its place, was the corpse of the man that was about to kill the boy. Panic raised and the villagers screamed in fright thinking the demon escaped and had killed the man. No one was willing to share the same fate by standing there, so they all ran away from the place. The next morning Itachi was walking towards a cave between the border of wind and fire country. After rescuing Naruto, he decided that leaving him there would be cruel. Letting the boy die at the hands of the villagers. Once inside the cave, Naruto started to come to his senses. After a few blinks he noticed Itachi. "Who are you?" asked the boy with fear in his eyes and trying to crawl away, not wanting to get hurt. After seeing this, Itachi just put the hands up, showing him no weapon or ill intention towards him. "I'm the one who saved you from the villagers, Naruto-kun, and I don't intend to hurt you. After all, it will be stupid to do so after saving your life," said Itachi. Naruto thought about this, and after some time, he just decided to believe him. After all, it couldn't be worse than being tortured by the villagers. "I see, thanks for saving me. May I know your name?" Itachi was surprised by this. Naruto had just decided to believe him? "I'm Itachi Uchiha," answered the man, poking Naruto's forehead just as he used to do with his little brother. He wanted to believe that Sasuke would be fine, but the hell that he had just put his brother into was not something that anyone would survive, and he was aware of that. Shaking away the memories, he just stared at Naruto, who said, "Thank you for saving me, Itachi and answered, "You are welcome, Naruto-kun." Meanwhile, in the hidden leaf, the Hokage was dealing with the elders that were demanding to find the boy and kill him in the spot. "He killed Kosan, he must pay," said none other than Ran Haruno, representative of the Civilians Council. "And don't even think we don't know what happened to the Uchihas. I'm pretty sure it was the same demon who killed them," said the head of the Inuzuka clan, Tsum Inuzuka. Sarutobi just massaged his temples. This whole ordeal was just too much for his old body. Naruto was not responsible of the Uchihas massacre. That can be confirmed by Sasuke, who was the only survivor, and from the information that Inoichi could collect, the culprit was no other than Itachi Uchiha. The elders went into shock. Neither of them were waiting something like this. "Then he must be killed," said the always stuck-up Hayashi Hyuga. "I have already sent a Hunter's Nin team. They should be able to arrest him in a few more hours. After all, they got a fresh trail. They couldn't have gone that far away," said Sarutobi, aware of the outcome of this, as he already knew no one would find Itachi. Returning to the main topic, "We must find Naruto and kill him. There is no wonder what he could do otherwise," said once again Ran. She was beginning to be a pain in Sarutobi's, but not as if he was going to tell her that, at least no. "Yet, we will not kill him. There is no wonder what would happen if we do," said the third Hokage, trying to make them desist. But Hayashi talked again. "Then we must put him into the bingo book. He is a missing ninja after all." Sarutobi's blood was boiling. These people were just trampling in the fourth's wish as if it meant nothing. "He is just 8 years old," argued Sarutobi. His old teammate Danzo decided to play his card in that moment. "Then this must be submitted to a vote. Whoever wishes that the kid is put in the bingo book as an S-rank thread, please raise your hands." The majority in the hall raised their hands with the exception to Yamanaka, Nara and Akimichi. "Then is decided, Sarutobi, by the order of the council, the kid is going to be placed in the bingo book as a S-ranked threat to the village, with an order to kill in the spot. Even if you are against this decision, with this the council dismissed itself, leaving a furious Hokage in the room. Naruto X. Itachi and Naruto were walking through the forest. Itachi "Nii-san, when are we going home?" asked Naruto while holding his stomach. This didn't went unnoticed by Itachi. "Listen Naruto, we are not going back home, because the people there want us dead, they hate us." Naruto was confused by this. He knew he was hated, but Itachi, that was strange for the boy. "Why are you hated, Nii-san?" Itachi looked at the boy. "Because I did something very bad to my family, because it was needed." Naruto didn't understand well enough, but something was very clear. Konoha was just a hole filled with sheet as people. He could not understand why they would hate someone as good as his Nii-san, but if that was the case then maybe that place didn't deserve them, maybe never going back was for the better. "Sometimes we need to keep going on," mumbled the blonde for himself. Itachi looked the emotions that passed through Naruto's eyes, and knew that the boy was not happy with the village. "Naruto, do you want to eat?" said, trying to get whatever he was thinking away. He didn't want to let the boy feel so much hate at such a young age. Perhaps he could train him and turn him into a strong and capable ninja, and a better person, someone that didn't let his emotions get the better of him. "Yeah, I'm kind of hungry," answered Naruto. Itachi then stopped and started to set up a camp. "Naruto, I'm going to teach you how to be a ninja, and the first lesson you are going to take is how to survive in the wild. So if you want to eat, you must catch your own food." Naruto's face went pale at that. It looked like it would be a very long night. "Okay, I can do that," said Naruto while walking to the river that was near the camp. "The first thing that you need to know is that we are ninjas. We need to feel the nature around us. Try getting something from the river." Naruto was confused by this. Feel the nature? What the hell was that? He tried to get some fish, but after half an hour with no success, Itachi decided to give some pointers. "You need to feel the flow of the river. Ninjas must learn to be a part of nature. Sometimes it will help you conceal yourself. And sometimes it will let you be discovered, but that only depends on you," said Itachi walking into the river, closing his eyes and hitting quickly the water, getting 3 fishes in one try. Naruto closed his eyes too and tried again, but noting it went like this for another 5 minutes, then he muttered to himself, "This is going to be a very long night." It's been about 3 months. Naruto and Itachi were nearing a little village in the south of Sunagakure. They had evaded the shinobi village, caused Itachi's status as missing nin. Once in the village, Naruto was glad that none of the villagers had glared at him already, and couldn't help but smile. "We need to get a room, let's look for an inn and then we can get something to eat," Itachi said, heading towards the center of the village. "Naruto, why don't you go and take a look to the room?" asked Itachi, feeling the presence of someone following them. "Hi, Itachi Nii-san." Once Naruto was out of view, Itachi headed out 2 streets from the inn where they decided to rest for the day. "Whoever you are, show yourself." In that moment a man with a mask appeared. "Itachi, why are you here? I told you to join Akatsuki, so why are you wasting time with the QB brat?" asked the man. Itachi knew that in a fight he didn't have any chances. "I don't plan on joining them. Tell your boss that I don't want any part of it and your twisted plans." The man glared at Itachi but decided to leave not without a warning. "We are going to take the brat, but for now you can play with him." With a sinister laugh the man disappeared in a vortex. Naruto was searching for Itachi. The room was quite alright and the bed was comfy, but he got a bit worried when his Nii-san didn't came after a few minutes. "Were you looking for me?" asked Itachi out of nowhere. Naruto looked around and spotted him in a corner. "Yeah, I don't like being alone. It's been a long time since I had people talking with me besides Aji-san and Inu-san." Itachi walked to him and took his hand, walking back to the inn. "Let's get some rest. Tomorrow starts your training." With this Naruto celebrated, thinking of how awesome a ninja he would become with his Nii-san teaching him. Meanwhile in Konoha, Sarutobi was getting worried. There were not news or clues about Naruto's disappearance. A knock in the door made him look away from the paperwork. "Come in." Kakashi stepped in with Rin. They've been a couple for a while, but Kakashi was still sad about his best friend's death. "Hokage-sama, is there any clue about where he could be?" asked Rin, a bit afraid. "No, and that's what makes me worry the most. Not only did Naruto disappear, Itachi is gone too, and we believe that he took the boy with him." Kakashi didn't know if he should be happy because the boy couldn't get harmed in the village or sad because the loss of his sensei's son. Right then an Ambu appeared next to Sarutobi. "Any luck, cat?" asked the Hokage with hopes of some clue. "None, Hokage-sama. I'm sorry, but it seemed like the boy just puffed out of existence. There is no trace of where he could be." Once again sadness filled the room. In the Hyuga residence, a cry filled the place. The guards were uncomfortable with this. The little heir was a sweet girl to them. She didn't care if they were branch or main family. To her, all of them were family. The sight of Hayashi Hyuga pounding the little Hinata within an inch of her life was just too much to take, but they couldn't do anything for her. They were scared of the punishment that the cursed seal in their foreheads could bring. "You are, as always, unworthy of your title," said Hayashi while delivering a kick to the ribs, making the girl scream in pain. "Why can't you be like your sister?" said once again, kneeling and punching the girl's face, but she was already unconscious. Seeing this, Hayashi decided to stop now, and went inside the house. In that moment one of the servants, Kasumi, hurried to take Hinata to the hospital. Once she reached the door, a doctor that was passing by looked at the girl and quickly took her to the CCU, critical care unit. Kasumi decided to go and talk to the Hokage. She knew that once Hayashi knew who has spoken of the events that day, would probably die by the caged bird seal. Even so, she could not let this go, even if it meant her death. Later that day, Sarutobi learned about what happened thanks to Kasumi, but he could not meddle in the clan's affairs. "I'm sorry, Kasumi, but I can do nothing. The laws forbid me to take matters on hands until she becomes a ninja." At this, Kasumi was totally set off. "But Hokage-sama, we can't let Hayashi hurt his own daughter like that. Is just sick." Sarutobi agreed with her, but once again, he couldn't risk to another try of rebellion, much less by the Hyugas. "I'm sorry, Kasumi, there is nothing I can do." With this, Kasumi went to the hospital to check on Hinata. Once there, the doctor saw Kasumi and tell her about Hinata's condition. "Kasumi-san, Hinata is all right now, but she took a lot of damage, most of it to the ribs. She is going to need at least 2 weeks to recover." Kasumi thanked the doctor for the news, but then she remembered Hayashi would most likely try to retrieve Hinata in less of that time. "Doctor, if I could ask you for a favor, please, don't let Hayashi-sama get near Hinata. I know he is her father, but you can't allow him to try and retrieve her." The doctor was a bit confused about this. "I haven't filled the information card about her yet, but I need to know what happened." Kasumi knew that she needed to tell him. Maybe that could keep Hayashi away till she came with some sort of plan. Hayashi-sama was the one that got her in that state. He wouldn't care if Hinata-sama died, because for him, she is weak. Kasumi had tears in her eyes. After remembering all the times Hayashi went on a rampage against the poor girl, but this was the worst of all. "I see, then there will be an order to keep 2 Ambu in her door and don't let her out without my consent." Kasumi thanked the doctor and headed out to the Hyuga compound. In the night, Naruto was totally exhausted from the training with Itachi. All that workout with the tree climbing exercise just made him hungry. "Itachi nii-san, I'm hungry." Itachi nodded. "Let's get something to eat, then we can go to sleep and start over tomorrow at first hour." Naruto just groaned, but he did as he was told. Catching up with Itachi that was walking away, they headed towards the village. "Itachi nii-san, I have a question to you. Do you know who my parents were? I've been thinking why the villagers hate me so much. I know that my parents died, but I don't know anything about them." Itachi was contemplating either tell him or not. He knew the orders, but he was now a missing nin. Either way, he was still loyal to the Leaf, even if he hated the council. "I know who they were, Naruto, but please believe me, I can't tell you who they were, but I promise you something. In 2 weeks we are going back to Konoha. I'm going to retrieve what I can of the scrolls that your parents left behind, and I'm going to help you in whatever way I can, okay?" Naruto saw the hurt in Itachi's eyes. He knew that maybe there were secrets that he should just figure out. A new way of thinking was needed in order to cope with this situation. "I understand, Itachi nii-san. I know that you would tell me if you could, so I'm not going to be a burden to you, nii-san. I promise to work hard. I need to be the best shinobi. I want to protect you, the same way you protected me." Itachi was glad after hearing this and messed Naruto's hair in an affectionate way. "Well, Naruto, I promise you." It had been 2 weeks since the start of Naruto's training, and he was improving greatly. Also, his attitude was getting better. It was kind of hard to not jump around screaming or eating noodles each 5 minutes of his existence. but he was improving nonetheless. "Nisan, where are we going?" asked Naruto. They left the village in the morning and had been walking for hours. "I told you before we were going to Konoha, didn't I? I'm going to try and get the scrolls left for you," said Itachi looking at Naruto. "Right, do you think we can go buy some clothes? These are getting small and is hard to move," said Naruto while raising his arms to prove his point. Itachi nodded and started planning inside his head the infiltration. It was going to be easy, and he just needed to go in and out of the Hokage's office. Yep, nothing big. "By the way, Nisan, I already mastered the training you gave me. I can run in the water without wasting too much chakra, and I already can do the replacement jutsu and the windbreaker jutsu," said Naruto with a big smile on his face. It was actually a nice accomplishment for an 8-year-old kid. "You still need to train some more before you can try the air dragon, and your taijutsu still lacks some work," Itachi said. 5 hours later they were outside of Konoha. "Nisan, this is the wall in the west of the village, right?" asked Naruto watching his surroundings. "Okay Naruto, you will stay here, okay? Just hide yourself and mask your chakra as I taught you and you will be fine," said Itachi disappearing in a swirl of leaves. "Man, he needs to teach me that," said Naruto to himself before hiding in some empty trunks near the place. Meanwhile in the hospital, Kasumi was trying to convince the doctor to let Hinata stay for a little longer. "Please doctor, just one more day, that is all I ask. I need to find a place where she can stay away from his father. Do you know what he will do to her? Probably put the caged bird seal and kill her in the spot." Kasumi was desperate trying to get the doctor agree. "Kasumi-san, believe me when I said I would love to let her stay, but I can't. There was some kind of conflict with some IWNs, and we need the rooms. I just can't allow it. Please understand," said the doctor before running to the CCU. Kasumi went to Hinata's room. Once there they prepared everything and then got out of the hospital. "Kasumi-san, I'm scared. I don't want to go home yet. Father will put that thing in my forehead and probably kill me without a second thought," said Hinata with tears running through her cheeks. Kasumi looked at Hinata and quickly embraced her while caressing her hair. "Don't worry, Hinata-sama, I will not let him hurt you. I'm going to find a way to get you away from the compound even if it is the last thing I do in my life," said Kasumi while tightening the embrace. Meanwhile, Itachi was running away from some ambu that spotted him while getting out of the Namikaze state, with a big scroll in his back. "These guys won't just don't give up? I'm getting tired of all this running away," said Itachi while turning in a corner and bumped into someone. "You are the Uchiha that murdered his own clan and leave behind his little brother just to torture him," said a woman with shock in her face. She was about to scream for help when he put his hand over her mouth. "Would you please shut up? I really need to get this to my little brother. It's his after all." "Kasumi-chan," said Itachi while giving a look to the woman that said he really needed to get out of the place. Kasumi just slapped his hand and gave him a glare. They went together to school and she had a kind of not too much sort of a crush on him, but she would not admit him as she would never admit that the news of his sins caused her a big shock. "You brother is in this village smart. Why would I believe you when you betrayed your own clan?" said Kasumi while trying to hide Hinata behind her. "He is not my blood brother, but I rescued him a while ago, and I think you know him too as he was hated by the entire village for something he didn't do," answered Itachi while trying to escape from the place, and just as he was about to jump into the forest Kasumi stopped him. "You mean you were the one that kidnapped Naruto from the village? Why would you do that? You are just a heartless bastard. I don't understand." Kasumi could not continue as she pondered something. This man has just slaughtered his entire clan but had saved a boy that was more likely to die in the village, and even if he would turn later against the village, it was better than staying to get beaten to death. It didn't make sense why he saved that boy or why he spared his little brother, but maybe she could take that to her advantage. If he could save one, then why not save another? Itachi was hurt by Kasumi's words. He was hurt because knew that everybody in the village had the same kind of thoughts about him, even if they didn't realize that they were saved that same night. Kasumi saw the expression in Itachi's eyes as he remembered that day with sorrow. She took this as her cue to proceed with her plan. "I don't know what happened with you and your clan, but I know that if you spared 2 lives, then that means you are hiding something big and that you are not bad as people thinks, so I will give you just one chance. Hear me out and help me with this, and I will see that you get out of here without problems. Deal?" said Kasumi while looking to Itachi's eyes. I would just knock you out and leave this place, so why should I hear you out? Asked Itachi, not liking where was this going. Because you wouldn't hit me, something is telling me that you wouldn't attack me. I mean, yeah, you killed a clan, but there must be a reason for everything you do, and your face is not that of a serial killer that just goes by murdering people and laughing as a madman, so will you please help me out? I can sense the Ambu approaching very fast, said Kasumi with decision in her voice. Okay, just what do you want me to do? And be quick please, I really need to get out of here, answered Itachi. Take this girl with you, her name is Hinata. Actually, she can't go to her house because his father would most likely kill her, and I was trying to think something out to get her out of the Hyuga state. Hinata hid herself behind Kasumi. The girl is afraid and you should really talk this with her, you know? You can't just push her out like that, and is not like she is going to accept right away, said Itachi with a smart butt attitude. Kasumi kneeled down and patted Hinata's head. You are going to be all right, Hinata. It's not like we won't see each other again. Besides, think of it, you can get away from that hellhole you call home, and not only that but you are going to be alone with Naruto Uzumaki. At the name of the blonde, the girl quickly perked up and looked at Itachi. Is Naruto-kun really with YU? Asked the shy Hinata, staring at Itachi's eyes. Yes, he is actually waiting for me outside the village. I was just going to take some of his things with me, but I didn't expect to be getting him another kind of gift in the process, said Itachi while rubbing his temples. Hinata looked once more to Kasumi and then nodded. She gave a hug to Kasumi and then walked to Itachi. Itachi couldn't believe his luck and just bent down to pick her up. I can't believe I'm doing this. Itachi looked exasperated, and after giving a nod to Kasumi he left. Just as this happened, Kasumi saw that the Ambu team was coming, and what caught her attention was that it was Hyuga squad. Kasumi, what are you doing here? I thought you were with Hinata-sama, said the man while his teammates looked around. I was, but I had a run with Itachi. But before you start asking questions, just hear me out and then you can arrest me for letting a missing nin escape, said Kasumi with fear of the outcome of this. The Ambu squad nodded before staring at her while waiting for the explanation. Just as Kasumi was telling them what happened and what she had done to Hinata, she feared they would just kill her in the spot. You must understand, Koro, Jin Nakamaru. She was going to die by her own father's hands, said Kasumi with tears running through her cheeks. Jin put his hand in Kasumi's shoulder and nodded. I know this was not easy, and to be honest I'm kind of relieved that Hinata-sama got away from her fate, said Jin and then turned to the squad. Okay guys, this is what happened. We found Kasumi Hyuga unconscious and apparently the Uchiha got away with our heiress. Is that clear? The team nodded in approval as neither of them wanted to see they loved Hinata death by Hayashi's hands. Jin turned to Kasumi and knocked her out. Nakamaru picked her up and took her to the hospital. Later, while reporting to the Hokage, it looks like the intruder took the heiress with her, sir. We couldn't track him after making sure that Kasumi was okay, said Jin. Okay, thanks for the report, said Sarutobi while thinking what had just happened. He knew the truth behind the actions of Itachi and the massacre of the Uchiha clan, but he could not understand why the decision to take Naruto and now Hinata with him. Meanwhile, in the Hyuga compound, Hayashi-sama, I have come to report the kidnap of our heiress Hinata Hyuga, said Jin while bowing down to the clan head. Hayashi quickly stood up and demanded, for explanations of the events. And when we arrived he was not around anymore, but Kasumi had very bad injuries. The doctor said that she probably tried to fight the Uchiha but was totally overwhelmed. Hayashi just nodded at this information. I wouldn't be surprised as she is just a branch member, but that useless daughter of mine could have at least tried to escape. This only proves that she must be found and placed in the branch family as soon as possible. Hayashi turned around and started to walk away to the Hokage's tower. Meanwhile, outside the village, Naruto, you can come out now, said Itachi while putting down Hinata and the scroll he was carrying. Naruto got out and stared at Itachi, then to Hinata and once more to Itachi. You got problems? Why is Hinata here with us? It seems like every time you try to escape the village you have to get an extra souvenir or you are not pleased with yourself, said Naruto while giving Itachi a funny look. Hinata couldn't believe her luck. She was so shocked to even say hi. She was going to travel with her crush and never go back to the Hyuga compound, and the best of all was that there was not pink-haired Banshee to hit and scream at her Naruto again. Hinata? Why you here? Won't your dad get worried? Asked Naruto. He won't, but he would probably hunt her down. answered Itachi, and Hinata just looked down with some tears in her eyes. Naruto saw this and tried to comfort her, so he did what he thought best at the moment. Hinata went from sadness to pure bliss as her crush embraced her while trying to comfort her. Just as her brain was about to shut down, she remembered that they would be together a lot, and with no other girls around, she had to get over that shyness if she wanted a chance with him. Shaking her head to get over the dizzy feeling of passing away, she quickly put her arms around him and buried her face in his chest. Naruto, as oblivious as he is, was happy that the hug had worked to make Hinata feel happy. He didn't have friends in the village, but she was always nice to him in the few time they exchanged words. Naruto, I know you like having her like that, but we need to get out of here. I don't want to deal with the Hunter Nin squad. I will tell you what happened later and the reasons that made me take her with me, said Itachi, teasing Naruto a bit. Naruto and Hinata quickly parted as if they were on fire. Hinata blushing like only she could, and Naruto with a faint tint of red in his cheeks. Itachi then took them and the scroll and disappeared from the area, leaving no trace behind. Okay, Ai-san, I think we are far enough, so will you tell me what happened and why did you brought Hinata with you? Asked Naruto once again. He noticed that Hinata didn't want to talk about it, but the boy was curious. Naruto, I don't think it's okay for you to inquire in matters that doesn't concern you, said Itachi, somehow annoyed with the boy. I is okay, Chihasan. Hei is just see curious, I is going to find out once to the Hunter Nins see come for me, said Hinata with a saddened expression. Itachi frowned and glared at Naruto for making the girl depressed, and the boy got ashamed of himself, so he did what he thought best at that moment. Once again Hinata went from depressed to depressed but happy state and a beautiful cherry red face. Naruto kind of find it cute that she would blush that much. I don't want to make you depressed, and I promise you that I will never let anyone hurt you, but I need to know what happened, or I won't be able to nose against what I'm supposed to fight. I just want to protect you, said Naruto with a serious face. Hinata couldn't believe it. Her crush was willing to fight and protect her. It was just like that one dream when he, and after that she, just remembering that made her feel dizzy. She was about to faint but used all her willpower to not do it now and enjoy more of the embrace. Naruto-kun, thank you, and I promise to work hard to protect you too, said Hinata while hiding her face in his shirt. After a lot of stuttering and some misunderstandings later, Hinata told Naruto everything that happened, since the physical and mental abuse her father gave her, to the moment that Itachi rescued her. Naruto was royally set off. He just couldn't believe what happened to Hinata, but the proof was that the girl was just too shy for her own good, and not only that, but there was a faint scar near the lower lip in the right of her face. That man is an a-hole. I am going to kill him when I see him again. Just how could he do that to you, his own daughter? By this time Naruto was leaking red chakra, and Itachi knew this was not a good sign. Naruto, you need to calm down. Think that after your training with me you will more likely be able to kill that man for what he did to her, but right now you need to calm yourself and focus in the training, got it? Said Itachi, trying to convince, but it didn't seem to work. Hinata saw this, and for the first time she did something she had never done before. She talked without stuttering. Naruto-kun, thank you for your concerning, but at the end I got something good of all this. I can travel with you and Uchiha-san, and I want to get stronger to protect you. At this point she realized that she was hugging Naruto and started to lose her determination. And because you are a very precious friend Tidim. That was it. She couldn't hold it anymore, and what better way to get out of that situation than fainting, so that she did. Naruto was calm at that moment and just stared at the smiling face of the Hyuga princess with a smirk of his own. He was happy that she thought of him as a friend because he always thought no one wanted to be near him, but after hearing her story he guessed that she always had tried to be his friend, but maybe her family didn't allow her to. Itachi Nii-san, it was a good idea to bring her with us, but now I want to know what caused you to get spotted? Asked Naruto while letting Hinata rest in his lap. Well, is a long, sad, and tragic story that mix horror and adventure with a bit of romance and humor, said Itachi, trying to avoid the subject. Oh yeah? Enlighten me please? I think it would be a good story before we go to sleep, answered Naruto while trying to get Itachi start with the fantastic tale. Well, you see, I was on my way to the Hokage Tower when I remembered that the scrolls were moved to the state where your parents used to live. It had a lot of seals, so I did what I thought was better and blew up some of them. Naruto waited patiently for him to continue, but after a minute of nothing just asked, "That's all?" Itachi just looked at him and then nodded. That's all. Naruto wanted to rant about it not being adventurous, romantic nor humorous, but decided against it as Hinata was still unconscious. After a while, Hinata opened her eyes and noticed that she had a soft pillow but didn't remember the place. She turned right and noticed two big blue orbs looking to her lavender ones. As she took in that she was resting in Naruto's lap, he decided to say something. "Hi, nice to see you are awake." With this, Hinata quickly blushed and fainted again. Itachi wanted to facepalm himself but decided against it. Naruto was curious, so he looked at Itachi and asked, "Hey Itachi, why is Hinata fainting and getting red? Is she sick?" Itachi couldn't resist and hit himself in the face against a tree. "That's not very sane, Itachi," said Naruto. Itachi looked at him and said, "Like is not sane to be too oblivious, but I will let that aside for now. And as for why she does that, well, ask her when she wakes up." Naruto looked puzzled and decided to just do that. Meanwhile, "Hokage-sama, I want to know if there are any news about my daughter and her whereabouts," asked Hayashi, walking in the office as if he owned the place. "Hayashi, I will have to remember you that this is my office and not your compound. You can't enter whenever you want to, is that clear?" asked the Hokage with a glare that made the Hyuga shiver, but he was not about to show it. "My apologies, Hokage-sama, but I'm worried about my daughter," said Hayashi, trying to excuse himself. Thought Sarutobi didn't believe him. "I'm sure you are, but sadly our ANBU team couldn't find traces or clues that point the direction they headed to." Hayashi was not pleased with this. That girl was a risk to his clan. He should find her and kill her in the spot just to make sure she doesn't get kidnapped again in the way back to the village. "What about the Inazukis? What are those dogs doing that they can't find a single child?" asked Hayashi, annoying the third. "Hayashi Hyuga, I will not let you derate my shinobi like that," yelled Sarutobi with anger in his eyes. "Yes, Hokage, I'm sorry." With this, Hayashi left the place, not wanting to find out why the old man was still the Hokage. As he reached the Hyuga compound, he called a squad of branch members to quickly go looking for the failure he raised. The squad quickly deployed, but as always they just stayed in the outside of the village doing nothing. XX Naruto-XX. Naruto-kun. Naruto turned to see Hinata sleeping and saying his name in her dreams. He got curious and crawled closer to her. "You silly Giggles, no. Don't do that more, Giggles, not there. And yep, even more cute, Giggles." Naruto raised his brow in confusion and looked at the smiling face of the girl, wondering just what the hell could she be dreaming about. "You know Just as she was going to say something important, Itachi dropped some training weights in the ground, scaring Naruto and waking Hinata in the process. Sorry, it just slipped my hand," said Itachi with a face betraying the poor excuse. "Sure, whatever. Hinata, can I ask you something?" Hinata looked at him and then nodded. "What were you dreaming about? You said my name and then something about not doing something, and you were, like, laughing? But in a cute way." At this, Hinata was totally red, but she didn't faint. "WLMP, probably something I don't remember anything about it," said Hinata while playing with her fingers nervously. "Weird. Well, whatever it was, it seemed funny and you had a cute laugh," said Naruto, smiling and not even aware of the effect it caused in the poor girl as he just saw her plop into the dream world again. Itachi just smiled at this and decided to tease the boy a little. Maybe he could realize something important while being embarrassed, and it would give Itachi a fair entertainment. "Naruto, if you keep making her faint like that, I can't train her properly, so would you stop flirting at least while we reach the next village?" This made Naruto turn red and started to yell random curses that didn't make any sense because he was embarrassed. "You know what? Forget it, I'm going to train," said, still very flushed about the whole thing, and just headed out somewhere nice to train. XX 2 weeks later in Konoha XX. "I can't believe this. How can you be too incompetent? I only ordered you to get some clues from my Daguther's kidnapper," said a very angry Hayashi. The squad didn't say anything and just bowed. "Hayashi-sama, please let me look for her by my own," said Niji, bowing down. From all the branch family, he was the only one that hated her cousin, and he was looking forward to see her die. "All right, Niji, you are free to do as you wish. I'm expecting positive news from you," said Hayashi while going back to his paperwork, waving his hand to dismiss him. Niji quickly went to the forest area. He knew he had to sneak out the village to try and find more clues. He was not a full-fledged ninja yet. Once there he started looking carefully for any clues, but he didn't expect this to be easy, so he prepared to be there at least 3 more days. "Who are you and what are you doing?" asked a girl around his age with auburn hair in 2 buns and a pink Chinese kapow. Niji looked at her with a serious face, but if you looked very close to his face you could see a red tint in his cheeks. "I'm working," said Niji while avoiding her gaze. "Can I help you? I sneaked out to get materials for my weapons, but I can spare some time," asked the girl while giving the puppy look. "But you don't even know what I'm looking for, and why would you want to help me?" asked Niji while raising a brow. He couldn't understand why a cute girl like her, cute? What the hell? "Because you look like you need to find something, and because you look cute, so I'm going to help ya," stated the little girl. Niji blushed at this but looked away quickly to cover it. "I think is okay then. But don't get in my way. I need to find any clues about my cousin whereabouts. She was kidnapped a while ago and my uncle is mad." "Alright then, my name is Ten. What's yours? Or should I just call you cute boy?" asked Ten with a big smile. "I'm Niji," answered the guy. XX Hinata XX. It was morning already. She had a very nice dream about her crush proposing and hugging her, and other things I can't tell you because this is T-rated. Itachi saw that Hinata was awake. "Hinata, I don't know if you are aware of this, but you talk in your sleep, quite loudly," said Itachi. "Did I say something as strange?" asked Hinata, blushing a whole new shade of red and almost fainting. "You did, and you said Naruto's name a lot, other things too. I will not tell him, but you should do something about it. Life can change in the flick of a finger." Itachi walked to the forest to start training again. They were actually approaching Stone Country. "Hinata, once we reach the next village we are going to start your first step of training. We need to develop a new fighting style that suits you and can use your Byakugan as an advantage. I have some ideas, but for now, go get Naruto and pack everything." Hinata blushed. She walked to Naruto and saw him sleeping peacefully. She almost felt like letting him sleep for a while but decided against it. "Naruto-kun, wake up." Naruto opened his eyes and found Hinata at his side. He took a look at her clothes. She was not wearing the same baggy jacket. Instead she had a cute lavender tank top with a sleeveless fishnet and a black pant. "Hinata-chan, good morning. Where is Ni-san?" "Are we leaving now?" questioned Naruto with a blush on his cheeks. The truth is, when they bought her clothes he noticed that Hinata was cute. He always thought she was chubby or something like that because of her previous clothes, but damn, he was wrong. Sakura was just nothing compared to her. "Why is Naruto-kun?" Naruto just stared at her for a while. "You look cute when you stutter and blush like that," he said without thinking. Again, after a few seconds it dawned on Naruto that he had just said that out loud. I mean why you always look cute BB but, why you KK now WWM going to look F for NNS, he blurted out and went to the forest. Hinata was blushing furiously. "He called me cute." And after that she fainted. Naruto found Itachi and greeted him. "Good morning Nii-sen," Itachi nodded. "Naruto, we are near Stone Country but I was thinking about Hinata's training and perhaps is a better idea to go to T-Country. I have an old friend that maybe can help," said Itachi. He knew that T-Country was in the south of Fire Country. That only meant they needed either go back or walk around Fire Country, and the first was not a good option. Hinata woke up and went to look for Itachi and Naruto while blushing. Itachi and Naruto saw her walking to them and Naruto remembered what happened. "I need to go change, so I'll be back," said Naruto while running back to get changed. Itachi then turned to Hinata and saw her staring to where Naruto had gone. "Did I miss something? You seem quite flustered today. A lot more than you normally are, that is." Hinata looked at him and then back to where Naruto went. "He said I looked cute when stuttering and blushing," said Hinata, and Itachi noticed that she didn't even stutter this time. "Did he? Maybe that is why he was embarrassed. He probably talked out loud what he was thinking." Itachi started to walk to where Naruto had gone but then stopped. "Hinata, we are going to T-Country." Hinata nodded and followed him. XX Niji XX. It had been the worst 5 days of his life. He was only supposed to be outside the compound 3 days, but this girl dragged him to the border between Fire Country and Rain Country. "You know, Ten, I'm starting to think you don't know what you are doing. I mean, how can they even be near the border?" asked Niji a bit irritated. "Come on Niji-kun, they could have been here. I mean maybe they needed a boat or something, said Tenten. They reached the port when a drunk sailor spotted them. You little twerp, what the hell are you doing here, burp? I told that other girl yesterday, I don't like stuck-up kids. Niji just ignored the man, and decided to go away when the man grabbed his attention. Yeah, that's right, go away, you and her are just the same. Stupid, Hyuga stuck-ups, burp. Niji quickly grabbed the men by the collar. Where did she go? Answer me right now or I am going to IP your troth out, got it? Yelled Niji. Tenten was a bit scared by the boy, he looked royally set off and she didn't know why. She was staring to believe that helping him was maybe a mistake, but he was cute and she couldn't help it. They asked for a boat to Tea Country and I don't know anymore and I don't care and am going to puke on your shirt. Rock pukes. Niji throw the filthy man aside. I think you need a bath and a change of clothes, said Tenten. And what gives you that idea, Tenten? Is it the fact that I'm covered by puke or perhaps the fact that I smell? Asked Niji with sarcasm. Both, answered Tenten and started laughing and rolling through the floor. Niji started walking away to find a public bath. XX Itachi XX. Things were going smooth for the group. They reached the Tea Country and were near Sora village. Once we reach the village we are going to look for my friend. She will help Hinata with her training. Hinata turned to Itachi with a puzzled face. What kind of tea training? Itachi looked at her and then to Naruto that was actually training in the second step of a jutsu called Raisin something. Okay, he was bad with names. I think your problems with Juken resides in the fact that the style was made for the Hyugas with earth affinity, but 2 weeks ago while trying to figure out your affinities we found out you were a water type. It actually made sense you couldn't master the Juken because water affinity are less stiff and more fluent with their movements, said Itachi while thinking in how they were going to make it work. But first we need to work on your confidence problems and I think I have the perfect idea for that. He then walked to Naruto leaving a confused Hinata behind. After a while they reached the village and went straight to look for Itachi's friend. After a while they reached a house in the other side of the village. This is the place. Wait here while I go to check out if my friend is still here. Itachi walked to the house while Naruto and Hinata stayed behind. So, has Itachi Nii-san told you already what's the next step in your training? Asked Naruto trying to break the awkward silence. It had been like that since that time when he called her cute. Kind of, said Hinata while blushing. Hey Hinata, why don't we try working on your stuttering problem? I have a good idea that may work, said Naruto. Okay, what do you have I in mind? Asked Hinata while blushing. Why don't you try taking deep breath? You seems nervous. Try to calm yourself, close your eyes and forget for a moment that there is someone next to you, said Naruto. When he was 4 he had that problem because he was shunned by everyone. There was a point where he was shy, but Inu had helped him that time. Hinata did what he asked and closed her eyes and took a deep breath. Okay, let's try this. Hinata, what is your favorite food? Asked Naruto. The truth was, this was only an excuse to try and get to know her better. I like cinnamon rolls, Naruto-kun, answered Hinata, fully aware that she didn't stutter this time. Awesome Hinata, you didn't stutter. Okay, so what is your favorite color? Hinata this time took another deep breath and opened her eyes while smiling. I love purple and blue, Naruto-kun. Hinata was happy. She didn't stutter, but it wasn't because of the exercise. It was because she was happy that Naruto-kun was taking interest in her and she didn't want to ruin this moment. Those are cute colors, but I like orange better, said Naruto smiling at her. At that moment Itachi approached with a blue-haired girl. She had gray eyes and was wearing a blue yukata. This is Hinata and the blonde one is Naruto, said Itachi. Nice to meet you guys, my name is Ran. Itachi here has told me that Hinata wanted to train and get better with her fighting style, said Ran smiling at the girl. Hinata was about to answer but remembered what Naruto told her. She took a deep breath, calmed herself and then answered. Yes, I would love to improve myself to protect my precious people, answered Hinata without stuttering. This surprised Itachi and then looked at Naruto. What did you do to her? She seems a bit more confident, asked Itachi, but Naruto just shrugged. Ran then took them inside the house. Okay guys, first things first, you are going to stay in the rooms in the guest rooms in the second floor, but the problems is that there are only 2 rooms available. Ran was about to give 1 room to the boys and the other for Hinata when Itachi and his evil mind worked his earlier plan. I'm sorry to say this, but I will not share a room with Naruto. I have slept with him enough in the way back here and I'm not exactly fond to his snores, said Itachi as he quickly took a key and placed a seal in the inside of his room. Okay, so that leaves one room and two people. I hope this is not a problem, Hinata. Hinata was blushing madly. I'm going to share my room with him. This was too much for her and fainted. Naruto caught her before she hit the floor and looked at Itachi, who was just standing there smirking as if he did the best prank ever. I know this is hard, but try to picture him smirking. I thought she wouldn't faint seeing how you helped with her stuttering, said Itachi while going into his room. Whatever, I will get my revenge, and mark my words, Itachi. One day I'm going to enjoy seeing you at the exact same position and I'm going to love every second of it, said Naruto and took Hinata to their room. Ran went with Naruto and Hinata. Well guys, I'm sorry about Itachi. I will see you later after you get some rest. I will tell you when dinner is ready, okay? Naruto nodded and thanked the girl before laying Hinata in the bed. He brushed some hair behind her ear. God, she is very cute. I wonder if things would have been different if I had noticed her before Sakura. Would she hit me if I asked her out? Naruto extended a futon in the floor near the bed and took a quick nap. Ran was with Itachi in his room at the moment, scolding him. What were you thinking? They are just kids and... She was going to argue even more, but Itachi interrupted her. Exactly, they are just kids, so they will not make anything foolish, but Hinata needs to work her confidence and Naruto is the only one that can help her, said Itachi. He proceeded to tell Ran about Hinata and her family, all the abuse and the way Kasumi just made him take her with him. Ran couldn't believe it. What kind of sick man would do something like that to her own daughter? I will teach her all I know, and you will see that once she knows the properly dance she will have no equal in taijutsu, said Ran with a determined look. XX Niji XX. Niji really wanted to follow them, but he wasn't prepared for a long trip to tea country and he didn't know how much it would take him to get there. Besides, holy days were ending and he needed to attend school, but he had very good information to give to the clan head. Once back at Konoha, he walked 10-10 to her house. He owed her that much since it was her idea to go to the river country border. After he was sure she got safe, he returned to the compound and went directly to Hayashi. Hayashi-sama, I have news on Hinata-sama whereabouts, said Niji, bowing down at the Hyuga leader. Very good, Niji. Is nice to see there is someone reliable to do his job, said Hayashi with a smirk in his face. However, Hayashi-sama, the news I have are not what you are expecting. Hayashi raised a brow and waited for the boy to continue. I'm afraid that this was not a kidnap and that Hinata-sama went by her own free will. It seems she went to the tea country with the Uchiha BSTRD and apparently there is someone else with them, said Niji. Hayashi was furious. How dare that scum to run away like that, but now he had the perfect excuse to kill her, but first he needed to do something else. Make Kasumi go to the backyard of the manor and call everyone in the branch family, ordered Hayashi while walking away to get the elder together. Once everyone was outside, they waited patiently for whatever was going to come. Thought Kasumi already knew very well what was going to happen and she was prepared for it. Hayashi walked to the backyard and faced everyone. I have got news about my daughter thanks to Niji, and it seems that stupid piece of trash run away by herself. Everyone keep quiet, but they knew that something bad was going to happen. Now what I want to know is, why did you let her run away, Kasumi? Hayashi faced her with an angry expression. You knew what was going to happen to her and you knew she deserved it, but even so you let her escape. It seems that you don't have the best interest of our clan in mind. Kasumi looked at Hayashi with an angered face. I will not let you talk about her like that. Hinata-sama was the only one that really cared about us as a family and you only treated her like trash. She was your own daughter and even so. I don't know how twisted you are, Hayashi, but I don't regret my choice. Hayashi had enough and activated the caged bird seal. Kasumi was in pain, but she kept glaring at the man. One day she is going to come back and you will regret everything you did to her. She is going to make us the best clan ever, and the best of it all is that I was the one that started it and you, Hayashi, and all main branch member will die, screamed Kasumi in pain as the seal got stronger. You filthy trash, how dare you spat that nonsense? Said Hayashi while applying more chakra to the seal. I will see you in hell, Hayashi. You will never see your wife again in the afterlife. I will make sure of that. With that, Kasumi's dead body collapsed. Jin, Koro, Nakamura, do you have anything to say? You are the ones to find her injured. and stated that my daughter had been kidnapped. Jean had already foreseen this would happen and he already had a backup plan, thought it didn't end well for him. Yes, sir, I knew all along. I was there before my teammates reached the place and I already knew what Kasumi did. I knocked her out and then told Koro and Nakamura what happened. It was mine and Kasumi's doing, sir, and I don't regret it because I'm sure that Lady Hinata will make this clan stronger. Once he finished talking, Hayashi just activated the seal and killed him in the spot. Take the bodies out of here, Koro, Nakamaru. I hope you don't forget what has just happened here and use it as an example of what will happen when you go against our clan tradition, said Hayashi. Koro and Nakamaru only nodded. Oh, they will remember this day that much was true. After 2 days, Nakamaru had decided to get the hell out of the Hyuga compound. There were more important things to him than waiting to be killed in the spot, and besides, Lady Hinata needed someone that could teach her the secrets of the Byakugan. He entered Hayashi's office and searched the place for the scroll that contained the most powerful secrets of the Byakugan and got out of there. When Hayashi stepped in his room, he found it totally crashed and a note that said, "For the glory of the Hyuga clan." An angry Hayashi quickly demanded to know who left the compound, and after finding it was Nakamura, he made Koro come to his office. You are in this too, aren't you? You are his teammate, so tell me, why are you two so fixated in helping a low trash as Hinata? Koro knew his mission has ended well. He was the one that delayed Hayashi until Nakamaru got out of there. You know nothing, Hayashi. You and the main branch had forgot something important, and that's why you are all going down one day. It only pains me that I will not going to be alive to see you die by your own daughter hands, said Koro. Oh, so enlighten me please and tell me what this we forgot about is, asked Hayashi while activating the seal. We are all family. And with that, Koro died, and what angered Hayashi the most was the smile in the man's face, and not only him, everyone that had died for Hinata had a smile on their faces. Niji! Hayashi demanded the boy's presence. Hayashi-sama? What can I do for you? Hayashi looked at the boy and knew that he was the only one that could be reliable enough for this mission. I know you hate my daughter Niji, you blame her for my brother's death, and you are right, it was all her fault, so I will give you a long-term mission once you are out of the academy, understood? Niji nodded and waited for this so-called mission. You are to find Hinata and kill her in the spot, bring me her head as a proof of your mission, and I promise you the hand of my daughter Hanabi in return, and with this you will be the clan head once I die or step down, said Hayashi, knowing that the boy would not step down this offer. It will be an honor, sir, and I will do as you request, said Niji, bowing down. One more thing before you go, Niji. From this day you are the branch family head, so you will report to me everything that happens in the branch compound. Is that understood? Asked Hayashi with a smirk, seeing how Niji was shocked by this. Niji only nodded and got out of there. Hanabi couldn't believe her father did that to her. She was going to be the clan head, but how could he just give her as a price to be earned for good job and to kill her sister no less? She started to believe that her sister did the right thing when she got away, but unfortunately she had not that luck. The good thing is that she was only 4 AN. I know she is actually 5 years younger than Hinata, but I'm gonna make her a bit older for this story, so bear with it. She had enough time to plan a way to escape or wait until her sister came to rescue her. Hanabi admired her sister. Even though Hayashi always beat her to the ground, Hinata always got up again, but what she liked the most was that it didn't matter if she was kicked, pounded, or whatever it was, she still was the same kind and shy Hinata. I really miss sister, said Hanabi while going to her room. XX 3 weeks later in the tea country XX. Hinata had been training with Ran. At first she thought it would be some kind of harsh training for a new taijutsu stance or something like that, but it turned out that all she needed was learn to dance. But this was not any dance. This was a traditional dance that mixed a lot of spins, and some of the juken katas were easily adaptable. Hinata was actually getting the hang of it very quick, and her flexibility only helped her to improve quicker and make some very hard moves. Naruto was speechless. He had seen Hinata train, and the way she danced was just beautiful. The way her hair danced with each movement. But he figured it was just because the dance was pretty, so he shook the thoughts aside. Okay, Hinata, that's enough. You have made a great progress. The rest is up to you and how you adapt to fighting with this style, said Ran, totally proud of this girl. Thank you, Ran-san, but I think I will practice a bit longer. Then quietly she added, kind of like when he is looking at me. Hinata flushed, but she was getting better with her shyness. After the second night with Naruto, she figured that fainting will not do any good as she would miss the chance to talk with him in private more frequently, so after a hard time trying to not faint, she had achieved to talk with Naruto without stuttering or fainting, and the only exception to the rule was when he hugged her, and that happened a lot. Naruto was now trying to learn how to make the Rasengan without a shadow clone, and he was getting better, but his chakra control was not good enough. Itachi had said that a good way to get a better chakra control was by trying to manipulate his elemental affinity, but the exercise proved to be too much for now. Even so, Naruto was probably better than any genin with half-year of experience, so it was okay. Itachi then remembered a jutsu that Naruto should learn, and probably this would help him too with the Rasengan. Thought it was kind of dangerous. Naruto, come here, I have something for you, and yes is a high-level jutsu, so please don't start yelling, okay? Said Itachi, smiling at Naruto's excited face. What is it, Ni-san? Does it have something to do with a big flashy move? Asked Naruto, wanting to see the new jutsu already. No, but I assure you that is a very powerful move that let the Yondaime win the third great shinobi war. Said Itachi, knowing that Naruto wanted to be better than him. Okay, so what do I have to do? Asked Naruto, and Itachi just gave him a scroll. That I don't know, as only the fourth could achieve this jutsu, but I think you will manage to discover how to make it work, said Itachi with confidence as Naruto read the scroll over and over again, trying to figure out the whole thing. This looks kind of hard. I think it's going to take a while before I can make some progress with this, said Naruto calmly. Hinata spotted Naruto and decided to take a break, so she went and sat beside him. Something new, Naruto-kun? Asked Hinata while blushing. Just this new jutsu Ni-sen gave to me, but is kind of hard, said Naruto while showing her the scroll. She took it and read what it said, but it looked a lot complicated and advanced, so she decided to give it back to Naruto. It's going to take you a while, right? But you know, I have the feeling that you can do it, Naruto-kun, said Hinata while standing up and going to the house. Naruto just stared at her and then to the sky. This is not bad at all, and I don't miss anything from that stupid village. And with that he decided to follow Hinata to the house. He was about to enter the house when suddenly he was greeted by a strange man. He knew there was something familiar with him, but what? Excuse me, young man, but would you please be so kind to tell me where can I find Lady Hinata? You see, I have an important deal to her, said the man while taking notice of the strange look Naruto was giving him. Who are you and why do you want to see Hinata? Are you a hunter? Asked Naruto, cautious of this strange man. Nothing like that. I'm from Konoha, yes, but I'm not here to hurt anyone. I just want to deliver this scroll to Hinata-sama, as this contains the strongest secrets of our Byakugan, said the man, uncovering himself. My name is Nakamura Hyuga, and I used to be an old guard, but I decided to leave because the clan is just not what I should be. Just please let me see my lady Hinata, and I give you my word that I won't do anything to hurt her. After a while, Naruto decided to go and call Hinata. After hearing who was looking for her, Hinata ran to the door and quickly hugged the man. Maru-sen, what are you doing here? I thought you would be in Konoha. Tell me, how is everyone and how is Kasumi doing? Itachi and Naruto were at her side already. Nakamura didn't want to tell him, but he could not lie either, so it was better to tell her the truth than hide, as she would find out later anyway. I'm sorry, Hinata-sama, but I'm afraid I am the only one alive. Kasumi died when your cousin Niji discovered where you had gone and told Hayashi you were kidnapped. Jin was the second to die right after Kasumi. Koro was the last. My brother distracted Hayashi while I got this, and after a while he didn't caught me, so he is certainly dead. I'm sorry, Hinata-sama. Hinata was crying right now. Naruto didn't like seeing Hinata like this. He went to hug her and she returned the embrace while crying in his chest. Itachi was sad. Kasumi was one of his friends from academy and the only that didn't judge him for what he had done. Hinata-sama, everyone wished for you to have this and to come back one day to regain what was yours from the beginning. They also wanted you to make us a stronger clan by uniting us again as a family. Nakamura gave her the secret scroll. I'm not going back, Nakamura. I will go and free everyone, but if I go back is just to level the compound and kill everyone for what they have done, said Hinata with decision in her eyes. Nakamura had never seen this fire in her eyes, and it was a good sign. It was the sign that the so-needed change was about to come. Hinata-sama, I must inform you too, with what happened is probably that Hayashi will give Hanabi-sama's hand to Niji to make it clan head. I'm afraid he did it to get you killed and get Niji in his side, said Nakamaru. Hinata was furious. How could her father, screw that? How could Hayashi do that to her sister? It will not happen, Nakamaru, because I won't let it happen, said Hinata while turning back and going inside the house. Everyone followed her and started planning the next year's training. Naruto knew that the years to come were going to be harsh, but he was going to help Hinata to achieve her goal. The most I learn of that stupid place, the more I start hating it, said Naruto, and then he went to sleep. XX 3 years and a half later in Konoha XX. Hokage-sama, I think it's time to stop sending troops to search for them, said Kakashi with a saddened expression. I know, Kakashi, but it pains me to have failed like this to Minato, said Sarutobi while looking at the picture of him and an 8-year-old Naruto. These villagers are a bunch of stupid people that can't even differentiate between a jail and its prisoner, said Kakashi with a scowl in his face. I know, but there is nothing that I can do to change the way people think, answered Sarutobi. Well, if you excuse me, Hokage-sama, I have a meeting with Rin and I'm still thinking hard about the whole teacher thing, said Kakashi, bowing down and getting out of the Hokage's office. After a while he found Rin at the memorial stone. She turned to look at him and smiled. Hey there, I thought you were with the Hokage, said Rin while looking back to the stone. I was, but I have things more important than a meeting about me taking a genin squad, and I know the council only wants me to be Sasuke's teacher because of his Sharingan, said Kakashi, and then started to walk away from the stone with Rin at his side. I still believe you will be a good teacher, said Rin with a grin in her face. Thought you would probably piss them off with your tardiness. Kakashi I smiled at this and then shrugged. They will just have to deal with it, said Kakashi. They walked through the streets of Konoha hand in hand. XX Team Guy at T-Country XX. Guy-sensei, I would like permission to take a detour as there is someone I would like to find, said Niji. Okay, you are free to go, but be quick please, answered Guy while going back to train with Lee as their mission was over already. After walking for a while he found 2 old villagers talking peacefully and enjoying a good tea cup. I really miss that sweet girl, she was always smiling and her eyes were beautiful, said the old man. Yes, she was certainly lovely, I wonder if she was blind, but she appeared to see just fine, said the old woman at his side. Oh well, Hina-chan will come back one day, dear, said the old man while laughing. Niji heard this and quickly went to the old couple. Excuse me, would you tell me more about this Hina person? I'm looking for my cousin Hinata and I am very worried about her, said Niji with a serious expression. Oh yes, dear, they were here till some months ago, but it seems they left, I don't know where, said the old woman. But young man, you don't have to try and lie to us. I know you are not worried for her and I can see in your eyes a hate that sold not be there against someone so sweet, said the old man giving a stern look at Niji. What would you know? You know nothing about my life or how hard it has been, yelled Niji. Maybe you are right after all. I am just an old man that has only lived for almost 75 years, so what would I know about a youngster like you, huh? Said the man, and then he took a sip to his tea. I'm out of here, Niji glared at the old couple and then walked away. XX Wind Country Border XX. Are we there yet? Because I'm getting tired, asked a green-haired girl. Don't worry, Fu-chan, we are almost there, answered Hinata. But that is what you have been saying for the last 2 hours. Fu was getting exasperated. I don't know why we let her come, my god, she is just too noisy for her own good, said Naruto while Itachi gave him a weird look. That coming from you? Is the world coming to an end? Asked Itachi, and Naruto just frowned and avoided his gaze. Remember me, why did we let her come with us? Nakamaru asked, looking at the two of them taking a look at Fu and Hinata laughing. XX flashback half a month before XX. So we are going to wind counterty? Asked Naruto to Itachi. Yes, we are going to try and enlist you guys there. As you know, the Chunin exams are almost there by this time and I would like you guys to take the test to see how much you two have progressed, said Itachi. Fine by me, answered Naruto. He was going to ask something again when a girl running through the forest knocked him out. Oudaman, that hurts, said the girl. Well, you don't have soft head, you know, answered Naruto. Itachi looked at the girl and saw a few bruises on her arms and a tiki headband with a scar on it. You are from Takigakure, right? Are you a missing nin? Asked Itachi. The girl quickly stood up and was about to run, but then a tiki nin landed near them. Hey there, you are monster. Don't worry, I will let your death be quick, said the man while taking out a kunai. Naruto heard the words of the man and was instantly mad, remembering what he went through at his old village. The man was about to kill the girl when a blue sphere of energy impacted on the man, sending him flying. Itachi went to check if he was still alive, but there was not much left of the former human. "Why did you protect me?" "You heard him, I'm a monster," said Fu with tears in her eyes. "Because people used to tell me something like that before without even knowing why," answered Naruto, and Fu's eyes widened. "Thank you," said Fu, and she was about to walk away when Hinata stopped her. "Why don't you come with us? You don't have a place to stay, right? And we are all the same because we are all hated at our villages," said Hinata while taking her hand. "Are you sure? Is okay?" asked Fu, a bit afraid. She didn't want it to be alone. "Of course I'm sure it is okay, right Naruto-kun, Itachi and Ai-san?" Naruto just nodded. "If Ran is going to take care of her, then I don't have a problem either," said Itachi, and Nakamaru just shrugged. Ran, that had been quiet the whole time, finally said, "Yeah, and it would be great to have another girl in the team," said Ran. "Okay then, I would love to follow you guys," said Fu, and they walked away. "But first we need to do something with your hair," said Ran, making the girls laugh. Behind the guys just watched the whole thing. "This is going to be interesting," said Itachi, and the others just nodded. XXX end of flashback XXX. "I still don't understand why that ninja called her monster, but I know that she is a nice person," said Naruto, looking at the girls. "Yes, and that same can be said for you, Naruto," said Nakamaru, and Itachi just nodded. Fu was wearing a navy blue t-shirt with a navy blue skirt and black shorts under them, no peeking. She had her kunai pouch at her hips and the right leg and a sunbon holder at her right arm. Her hair was short. I'm not very good with description as I tend to be very detailed, but just imagine her with Eureka's style from Eureka 7. After a while they reached Suna and were stopped by two guards. "Identify yourself." "Sabaga. My name is Itachi Uchiha and these are my companions. I would like a meeting with the Kazekage to offer my services as a jounin," said Itachi. The guards recognized him, and one of them was about to attack when another team reached Suna. They were 3 genins and a jounin. "Baki-san, please help us here," said one of the guards. "This is Itachi Uchiha and is a wanted ninja for Konoha," said the other. Baki looked at Itachi and then to the guards. "No, let them pass. The Kazekage would be glad to know them better, and believe me, there is no way these guys are a threat to this village," said Baki, walking away of the two guards. Itachi walked away following Baki. One of the genins looked at Naruto and Fu. He looked like he hadn't slept at all in his entire life. Naruto was amazed by the place. He wondered how did people get used to live in the desert. Hinata and Fu were looking around too, but Hinata was mostly looking at Naruto. Fu saw this and decided to make a little joke. "Is cute, isn't it?" asked Fu while smirking, but Hinata was too busy contemplating Naruto to notice. "Yeah, very," said Hinata. "Hey Naruto, watch out. Hinata already took a liking to your butt and says it is cute," yelled Fu, embarrassing the two. It was like a hobby to embarrass them. Sometimes she found their relationship kind of weird, sometimes they would talk like the best friends ever, and other times they would flirt unconsciously with each other. It was kind of annoying, but it made it even more fun to tease them. And sometimes Itachi would join into the fun. "Hinata-chan, please don't stare to Naruto's but too much, we need you focus in case something happens." Hinata was totally red but said nothing and just activated her Byakugan. "Hinata, don't use you Byakugan to peek through his clothes. My god, you are innocent but sometimes you are a pervert too," said Fu, laughing hard. Itachi couldn't hold it anymore and started to laugh too. Nakamaru was just smirking and Ran had an amused look. Naruto got tired of this and started to yell curses at them while chasing them around, and Hinata just deactivated her Byakugan and looked to the ground. The red-head genin couldn't understand anything at all. So he decided it was better to know why these two that were so much like him could laugh like that, so carefree. While walking to the Kazekage's mansion, Naruto noticed that everyone in the village was glaring at the red-headed boy and even heard someone murmuring something between monster and demon. This was too familiar to Naruto, and he started to believe that maybe each village had a rule to make one kid miserable through his whole life. Naruto walked beside the boy. "Hi there, what is your name?" asked Naruto, and noticed the look on the boy's face. It was a face full of surprise. "I'm Gara, Sabaku no Gara," answered the boy. He knew it was better to not tell nothing and just kill him, but he was curious too, as he wanted to know why this Naruto guy could smile like he did when he was the same as him. Be careful, kid. This guy is not just another Jinchuriki, he has the King Kyuubi inside of him. To be more precise, if you were to anger him you would probably die in a second, said Shikaku. Gaara nodded. My name is Fu. And this is Hinata, and that is Ran, and that is Itachi, and the other guy is Nakamaru. Nice to meet ya, said the green-haired girl. Gaara looked at her, surprised that she would get so close without hesitating even a second. Kid, I don't know if you have a very bad luck, but this girl has the Nanabi inside of her. She is not as powerful as Kyuubi-sama, but she is a lot stronger than me, got it? It would be better to be in their good side. Once again Shikaku warned his vessel. While this happened, the other teammates couldn't believe it. These guys were talking with their brother as if nothing bad would happen, and Gaara was not even trying to kill them. Hi guys, my name is Temari and this geisha is my brother Kankuro, but don't get confused by his appearance. He just likes to use my makeup, sighed the girl on the Suna team. Is not makeup is battle paint, is used as camo, get it? And besides, the girls like men who wears camo, yelled Kankuro. Hinata and Fu looked at each other and then at Ran. The three of them nodded and looked at Kankuro. You look creepy, said Fu. Please don't get near me, said Hinata while going to hide behind Naruto, who was smirking at this. Are you sure you are not a pervert? You already gave the creeps to my poor Hinata and Fu, said Ran while covering his hand as if she was about to puke. I'm not a creep. I'm just different, yelled Kankuro and then ran away crying, totally embarrassed. The four girls just shared a high five. Temari already liked these girls. It was hard to get kunoichi friends about her age, since usually the other were just fangirls that didn't take the job seriously. XX at the Kazekage mansion. XX. I will go to report to the Kazekage and tell him that you guys want to speak with him. I think he would be pleased to know that some ex-shinobi from the Leaf wants to join our ranks, said Baki, and then walked to the Kazekage's office. Gaara couldn't contain his curious side and decided to ask Naruto what he had wanted to ask. Hey Naruto, how is it that you can smile so carefree like that? Asked Gaara, making the boy look at him puzzled and surprised at the same time. I mean, you are exactly like me, but you are always smiling. Naruto nodded at this. Why do you say that I'm exactly like you? Fu was mistreated in her village too, said Naruto. Naruto was not stupid. He had seen the glares of the villagers and they were the same as the ones he received at Konoha, but he wanted to know if Gaara had some kind of answer as to why he was hated. Yes, but is for the same reason as both of us. We are Jinchuriki. At this, Itachi perked up and quickly tried to grab Gaara, but a wall of sand blocked his way and trapped him. Naruto saw this and looked at Gaara. He knew that Itachi would not die because if the red-headed wanted, he would have killed him already. What is a Jinchuriki? What do you know that I don't? Asked Naruto, but the one that answered was not Gaara. Is the vessel of one of the nine-tailed beasts, and is said that whoever containing the demon is the demon itself, answered Fu. How? Do I know this? Because I am the Jinchuriki of the Nanabi. Fu had a sad look in her face. But the Kyuubi was killed by the fourth Hokage. There is no way Naruto-kun can be the demon, yelled Hinata. A demon can't be killed by a human. The only way to stop him is by sealing him inside a container, and the seal that the fourth used needed a newborn to succeed, and that is why he sealed the Kyuubi in his own son. Naruto, said Itachi while the sand around him dispersed. A demon can't be killed by a human. The only way to stop him is by sealing him inside a container, and the seal that the fourth used needed a newborn to succeed, and that is why he sealed the Kyuubi in his own son. Naruto, said Itachi while the sand around him dispersed. Naruto couldn't believe it. Now he knew why the entire village hated him and kept trying to kill him. Hinata looked at him as she could now understand the looks of the villagers to her. Naruto-kun. I'm just a freaking monster that should have been key. No, you are not, shouted Hinata, interrupting Naruto. Naruto looked at her, but he couldn't understand why she didn't look at him with hate. He ran away as Baki came back to the room. Hinata quickly followed him. After some minutes she caught up to him and hugged him from behind to stop him. Naruto tried to escape her, but she was dim and strong and he didn't want to hurt her, so he just gave up. She saw this and led him into an alley to their right. He turned around to face her and saw her crying. He slumped into the ground and returned the hug. But, Hinata, why are you crying for a monster like Memph? He couldn't finish that sentence as Hinata silenced him with her lips. After a while they parted and Hinata looked into his eyes. You are not a monster, you are Naruto Uzumaki, the best ninja in the entire world, the one that will show that stupid village who is the real monster. You are the one that always had cheered me up and always has been there for me when I was abandoned by my clan. You are the only one that makes me want to wake up every day and be a better person, Naruto-kun, because I love you. Naruto's eyes widened at this. He couldn't believe it. Here was the shy Hinata facing him and making him understand that he was not a monster and that there was someone that really loved him. Is that true? You really love me? You don't hate me like the entire village? Don't you want to run away from here and be as far away as you can? Hinata looked at him and then kissed him again, surprising him again, but this time he returned the kiss. Of course is true, silly. I love you and I would never hate you, and no, I don't want to be as far away from you as I can because I want to be with you for as long as you let me, said Hinata with eyes full of love and comprehension. Naruto saw the sincerity in Hinata's eyes and smiled. I don't know if I'm good enough for someone like you, Hinata, but I know that I want to try this with you. So will you go out with someone like me? Asked Naruto. Only if you want to be with a failure with me, Naruto-kun, but I don't only want to go out with you. I want to be by your side forever, answered Hinata, smiling at the new outcome and how it turned into her favor. Naruto's smile grew wider and kissed her in the lips again, taking Hinata by surprise. She closed her eyes and returned the kiss. After a while they broke the kiss and just embraced each other. I think we need to go back, Hina-chan. She nodded and got up with him. They returned to the mansion holding hands and found everyone waiting for them. I'm sorry guys, I kind of lost it for a minute, but Hina-chan is right. He faced them with a serious expression. We are not monsters. We are the jailers that contains the tailed beasts. Then he faced Itachi. I know that you are loyal to the Leaf and Ison, but you must know that I hate Konoha, and that I'm planning on destroying that demed place full of idiots. Itachi could see the hate in Naruto's eyes. You know that your father loved that place, right? He gave his life to protect Konoha. Itachi intent to reason with him, but Naruto only glared. I don't care what that man felt about that place, and I don't care if he is rolling in his tomb right now. I do know that Konoha branded us as monsters and monsters they are going to have. Itachi sighed and then looked at Naruto. I don't hate Konoha, but I know that is getting corrupted by the stupid council. I don't want to see my hometown leveled, but if they grow worse then I will have no remorse in allowing such fate. Naruto knew that Itachi loved Konoha and didn't want to force him into anything, but then Itachi surprised him. But for now I have a little brother to help and I promise to train him and make him stronger. Naruto looked at Itachi with a smile and then hugged him. Thanks, Ison, it means a lot to me. At that moment the Kazekage entered the room. It's good to hear you say that, boy, and I will gladly take you into my forces with all your friends, but first you will have a mission. Just think of it as a test, offered the Kazekage. Thank you, Kazekage. Itachi bowed and did the same. Gar, can we talk? Is about your question, said Naruto, and Gaara gave a nod. Hina-chan, I will be back in a few minutes, okay? Hinata gave him a quick peck on the lips and smiled. Naruto smiled back and then turned to Gaara. The both of them were out of view in a body flicker. The girls saw what happened between Naruto and Hinata and quickly trapped her like a predator to its prey. Okay, little Hina-chan, give us all the juicy details, said Ran while Fu liked her lips, savoring the information that was about to come. Hinata sweat-dropped and started to explain what happened. Meanwhile, with Naruto and Gaara on the top of the mansion. You asked me why I could smile like I do, right? Gaara nodded. Well, the answer is easy really, is because I have friends that care for me and I for them. Gaara couldn't understand this. How could someone like him that just a few minutes ago was so broken finding the truth just be okay again? Don't get me wrong, I want to destroy Konoha. That place is not my home anymore, but I have people precious to me now and someone that loves me. Naruto smiled, thinking about Hinata. Are you saying that our existence is not only meant to kill? Gaara couldn't believe that his life was meant for more. Of course I am, and I know that someday you will get the same luck as I and find someone that loves you. Besides, I bet your teammates already care about you, said Naruto, smiling. They are my siblings, but they always feared me. Gaara hung his head. I bet if you don't threaten them every day they will stop fearing you. Naruto put a hand on Gaara's shoulder. Gaara nodded and was about to leave when Naruto stopped him. Besides, you are not alone anymore. I am your friend and I'm sure that Fu feels the same. We are all vessels with a burden we didn't ask for and that makes us like brothers too. And if you ever need me I'll be right by your side in the blink of an eye. Naruto gave him a foxy grin. Gaara did something he hadn't since a long time. He smiled. Meanwhile Hinata was explaining the girls what had just happened. She was happy that her dream of being with Naruto was coming true. I can't believe he did that. I mean he was so oblivious, said Fu. Yeah, but that only shows he has an unexpected character, Rain agreed. Well, I guess it's time to go back to training Ran-ne-chan. Sane Hinata trying to change the topic. Oh yes, we need to keep working on that protective move. Temari helped Ran, Hinata and Fu to get to the training grounds. XX Konoha XX. Kakashi Hatake was with his team, Sasuke, Sakura and Kiba, in the Hokage Tower. Kakashi, your team has done an excellent work in the capture of Tora the cat. The cat was delivered to the wife of the daimyo. Now for your next mission we need someone to paint some fences or you can help in Ichiro's farm, or... At this the cat escaped its owner and jumped out of the window leaving a screaming woman behind. Or you can deliver Tora again, said the Hokage with a sigh. No freaking way Hokage. I'm tired of this stupid missions. I'm in Inuzuka, I can deal with something better, argued Kiba. You are only a genin Kiba, learn your place, said Irika with an angry expression. Hoka-sama, with all due respect I believe that my team can handle a C-ranked mission, said Kakashi, somehow tired of catching the stupid cat. Okay, your mission will be XX 5 minutes ago in Suna XX. The new Suna team was gathered in front of the Kazekage. I want to test your skills as a team, so I'm sending you into a B-ranked mission that can be upgraded, and in the meantime I will make a fake registry to allow you guys into the next Chunin exams taking place in Konoha in a few months. The Kazekage saw the discomfort in Naruto at the mention of Konoha. Don't worry, I'm not going to hand you back. You are now my shinobis. I will explain you the reason of your participation in the next exams later, and I think more than one will jump at this opportunity, said the Kazekage smiling. We are more than ready to show you our worth, Kazekatama, said Itachi. Very well, then your mission will be XX Konoha and Suna at the same time XX. Both Kages, you will go to the land of waves and kill the man named Gato. Both teams nodded at the orders. What will happen next? What will they encounter in Land of Waves? Find out in the next chapter of The Rising of the New Whirlpool. Team Kakashi had a mission in Land of Waves to protect a builder from bandits and to kill a man named Gato. It looked quite simple as they only needed to deal with some bandits, but things got worse for the poor man when two rogue ninjas attacked. It was clear that the demon brothers wanted Tezuna's head, but they didn't have a chance against Kakashi. Tezuna-san, these guys clearly wanted your head and the mission payment only involves bandits and Gato, said Sasuke. Yeah, and I'm not going to risk my head if I'm not getting paid enough for it, Kiba agreed with Sasuke. We will help you, Tezuna-san, but don't expect the guys to protect you if we run into another ninja. I'll talk to them later, but if the next ninja is a A-ranked or S-ranked, then we will have problems, said Kakashi. Well, it's not my fault that man decided to hire some ninjas to kill me, defended Tezuna. That I don't care, let us continue the mission, finished Kakashi, leaving no room to protest. XX Naruto XX. Naruto, once we are there we will take one more week before we return to Suna, said Itachi. Why would we do that, Itachi and Aisen? Naruto was confused by this. Itachi was not someone to take breaks after something important. We are going to Whirlpool country, your mother was born in that place and it would be wise to search for info or something valuable about your clan. Naruto nodded at this and turned to Fu. Are you alright with that? Asked Naruto. Yeah, it would be good to know the old home of the Uzumaki clan, answered Fu while Hinata nodded. They were near Land of Waves when something caught Naruto's attention. XX Team Kakashi XX. They were heading towards the unfinished bridge when suddenly Kiba heard something in the bushes. He threw a kunai only to find a white rabbit. Kakashi saw the uncommon color and without thinking twice shouted, "Get down!" taking Tezuna with him. The genins quickly dropped to the ground just in time to see a big sword pass just above their heads. So the demon brother failed because of you, Kakashi the copy ninja. This is getting interesting, said Zabuza. You are Zabuza Momochi, right? What is the demon of the bloody mist doing trying to kill a poor bridge builder? Asked Kakashi, ready with a hand in his headband. Oh, so you are going to fight with the Sharingan at the very beginning? This is going to be interesting. Zabuza got ready to attack. But you must know that after this you will die. Kakashi lifted his headband and showed his Sharingan. Zabuza took his sword and attacked Kakashi, who was only defending with a kunai. Sasuke wanted to fight, but his body couldn't follow his command. After some time of trading blows, Kakashi was losing stamina, but Zabuza looked just fine. Sasuke ran to Zabuza while he was distracted, but Zabuza saw this and swung his sword against Sasuke, causing a deep wound. Kakashi went to check him, but that was a big mistake. Zabuza slashed at him, grinning like mad, when suddenly a yellow flash got in the way. Kakashi looked behind him to see what stopped his inevitable death. His eyes went wide at what he saw. Standing there was a boy almost the same age that his team, blonde spiky hair with whisker marks, a blue shirt with black jeans and a long black trench jacket. Imagine Dante from DMC4, but in black and blue, a kunai pouch in his right arm and one in his left leg. Sakura saw the guy and blushed, but then she remembered about Sasuke and quickly went over to check him. Zabuza grinned at Naruto and raised his sword. "You are good, kid. If you could stop Kubikura Bocho, then you are not a simple genin." "Well, thanks. To be recognized by such a great ninja is an honor," answered Naruto. They were about to engage when Kakashi spoke. "Is that you, Naruto? Is it really you? Or perhaps I'm already dead and this is my punishment?" asked Kakashi. Naruto finally looked at the man he had just saved, but when he saw the headband he started to regret his choice. "Do I know you, Leaf Ninja? Because there are only a handful in that village who I would save willingly," asked Naruto. "I think is understandable after whatever Itachi did to you, but I guess you don't remember me because I'm not wearing my mask. Remember Inu? Is me." Naruto's eyes widened. "I can't believe I would run into you in this place." Zabuza's sword flew between them. "This reunion is quite touching, but I don't have time for this. I have a builder to kill," said Zabuza. "Over my dead body, Zabuza, but let us make a deal. If I win, then you will hear what I have to say, and if you win I will go with you," said Naruto, picking Zabuza's interest. "And what is in it for me if I win?" asked Zabuza. Naruto's grin grew more, knowing that the missing ninja would not let this kind of chance slip by. "The power of the Kyuubi no Kitsune at your disposal," answered Naruto. "Oh, and how do you plan to obtain something like that?" This time Zabuza got closer to the boy, trying to see if he was bluffing. "Easy, because I am the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails." Zabuza's eyes widened and then started to laugh like a madman. Sakura had heard every word and now everything made sense. The boy in front of her was the same that pestered her in the first 2 years of academy, but now he looked like someone different. Even so, the fact that he was the Nine Tails scared her. Hinata and Itachi arrived to the battle and went besides their teammate. If Naruto was going to fight, he would need all the help he could get. Sakura saw Hinata and how she had grown up and couldn't believe that this girl that was shy in their days at academy was now holding her head high with an air of power, and to make it worse for Sakura, Hinata was more developed than her and Ino Togedor. "Hinata, what are you doing here?" Sakura went to the two. "Don't you know that Naruto is a monster? We need to get out umph." She couldn't finish her sentence. Hinata had punched her in the gut. "Don't you dare to call him that. He is more human than anyone living in the leaf," said an angry Hinata. "Cat fight," shouted Kiba, earning a glare for both females. "Typical of you, Kiba. Your dog is more civilized than you sometimes," said Sakura, narrowing her eyes. "That is the main reason that no girl wants to go out with you, and why I ignored you when you tried to hit on me in academy," helped Hinata, earning a nod from Sakura. "Wait, you two were fighting just a moment ago and now you are teaming up against me?" argued Kiba. Sakura and Hinata looked at each other and nodded. "That's because both of us know how to left differences behind when a true idiot is trying to be funny with us," said Hinata, earning a giggle from Sakura. Kakashi couldn't believe that the son of his sensei was right in front of him. "Naruto, I'm so relieved that you are alive. Now we can go back to the leaf. Hokage-sama is going to be so happy." Naruto frowned. "And go back to that hellhole? Thanks, but no thanks. I've had enough of that stupid village a long time ago and I'm not going back. If you don't like it, then you are going to have to fight me," yelled Naruto. Kakashi couldn't understand why Naruto didn't want it to go back to Konoha. "This is your fault. Naruto hates his home because you screwed his mind," Kakashi accused Itachi, who just raised a brow in confusion. "Stop that crap, Inu. Don't you dare to point your finger to my brother when your stupid village is the only one that screwed me enough, yelled back Naruto. Zabuza had enough of this, so he just slashed at Kakashi. Naruto quickly took a kunai and went for Zabuza as they both parried. Fine kid, if you win I will hear you out, but if I win then? You are coming back with me to Kiri and you are going to help me destroy that FANG village, got it? Naruto nodded in acknowledgement. Kakashi joined the fight, but Naruto didn't like the interruption and slashed against him while kicked Zabuza out of the way. What are you doing, Naruto? This is not time for silly quarrels. You need to get back to Konoha with me, and everything is going to be okay, I promise. Naruto just narrowed his yes and looked for Itachi asking for help. Itachi nodded and went for Kakashi. I'm sorry Kakashi, but my little brother doesn't want to be bothered during his fight with Zabuza. This is all your fault, yelled an angered Kakashi. If saving his life at the age of 8 was wrong, then yes, it's my fault. But if you mean he hating the village, then you can thank his father, answered a calm Itachi. Kakashi activated his Sharingan and started to prepare his Chidori, but Itachi activated his Mangekyo Sharingan and quickly caught Kakashi in a genjutsu, making him drain all his chakra. Naruto was sparring every blow Zabuza threw at him. To the missing knee, Naruto was amazing as he easily blocked his sword with a single kunai. Maybe with some training and dedication he would. What the hell am I thinking? He was Zabuza, the demon of the bloody mist, and he was certainly not a babysitter. Naruto saw his opportunity to attack and created a Rasengan. Kakashi, who had used the Sharingan to escape from the genjutsu, saw this and was surprised to see the one he saw as a little brother use one of his sensei attack. Zabuza couldn't dodge and Naruto's attack sent him flying through the forest. Zabuza tried to get up, but it was useless. He had wasted a lot of chakra and his sense were fading away with the damage he took from that last attack. Itachi saw a shadow from afar throw something and quickly grabbed Kakashi to throw him at Zabuza and shield whatever it was. Kakashi was hit by 3 senbons and started to feel sleepy. Probably some kind of poison was put in those. Naruto quickly went for the shadow and Itachi secured Zabuza. Sakura and Kiba, who were only watching from afar, decided it was best to go back to the village. Tazuna-san, Tokasama will hear about this. From this point you are alone and Konoha will not be held responsible for your lies and your fate, said Kiba, and Sakura nodded, taking the unconscious Uchiha with her while Kiba took Kakashi. You are starting to sound like Niji and Ai-san. Now just start brooding all over Konoha and maybe you will get 1 or 2 fangirls, said Hinata, giggling. Now I will never finish that stupid bridge. Oh man, what am I going to do? What are we going to do? The old man complained and Naruto returned with a hostage tied up in a very suggestive way. What the hell? Why did you let them catch you? Asked Zabuza with a weak voice. Because that guy could have killed you if I tried anything, answered the girl. Hinata saw how Naruto had tied the girl and went to slap him in the arm. I hope that's the usual way you tie someone up, Naruto-kun. Naruto only raised an eyebrow and turned to the girl, then back at Hinata as if asking what the hell was she talking about. Itachi, being the good brother, whispered something in Naruto's ear that made him start apologizing and untie the girl. We are not going to kill either of you, but Zabuza made a deal and he must honor my request. The girl knew his master too well to know that if she tried something funny and he didn't honor the deal, they were going to roll some heads. I see, then I only wish to help translating him to safer grounds and heal him. Naruto nodded and remembered something. Hey old man, now you don't have an escort, right? Asked Naruto while looking around for the Konoha Nins. No, the Konoha's shinobi left me to die. Now my village will be doomed to Gado's wish and there will be nothing I can do to stop him, said Tazuna with a sad tone on his voice. Don't worry old man, I'm going to help you out, right Itachi innocent. He turned to Itachi, but saw that he was having a hard time to breath. Hey Nai-san, are you alright? Naruto got worried and quickly checked on him. Yes, I'm fine Naruto. Tazuna-san, if you let us be your escorts we will protect you with our lives, said Itachi, trying to get Naruto's attention away and earning it. Tazuna's eyes widened. Really? But I can't pay for a B-ranked mission, said Tazuna, afraid that the shinobis would decide to just go away. So what? We are not like those Konoha shinobis. I don't care about money to help people who really need it, answered Naruto. That's right Naruto and Ai-san, we are going to help just because we can, said Fu, getting out from her hiding place. I bet you thought, hey where is Fu-chan, but she was watching their backs the whole time. Thanks guys, You really are the best, said a happy Tazuna, wiping some tears. By the way, this is Itachi, that beautiful girl over there. Fu blushed at this and waved her hand dismissively. Is my girlfriend Hinata. Fu went from embarrassment to anger in a second. The green-haired one is my sister Fu, and I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Is a pleasure to meet you. Tazuna's eyes widened in surprise at this. You are the heir, exclaimed Tazuna, surprising everyone. You are the heir, exclaimed Tazuna, surprising everyone. But we can't talk about that in a place like this. Come on, let me guide you to my home, said Tazuna, quickly leading the way while the girl used her Kekii Genkai to create an ice platform and carry Zabuza on it. Once they reached the house, Tazuna quickly stopped Naruto. Please wait here, Master Naruto. Tazuna entered the house. Hey Tsunami, come here. A beautiful woman appeared from the kitchen. What is it, father? Something happened? And where are the shinobis you were going to hire? Asked Tsunami with worry. Those BSRD let me to die when we got ambushed, but that is not important. Someone saved me, and you will not believe who just promised to help our country, said Tazuna with joy in his voice. Who is it, father? You seem happy to have met this person. Tazuna just smiled brightly and nodded. Of course I am happy. How could I not when I just found the heir of the Uzumaki clan? Yelled Tazuna. Tsunami's eyes widened in surprise. What? But father, I am not presentable in the house. Naruto had enough of waiting outside, so he just decided to go into the house. Hey old man Tazuna, is everything okay? You were taking too long, said Naruto. Oh, don't worry, everything is fine. Thank you for your concern, Master Naruto, said Tazuna, bowing to Naruto. Tsunami did the same and then excused herself to prepare the rooms for the new guests. Tazuna told the rest of the guys to go into the house. It's good to have you here, guys. And even better to have the friends of Master Naruto stay at my humble house. Cut that, Master, crap, old man. I don't even know why you keep calling me that, said Naruto, a bit annoyed by this. Well, that is because you are Naruto Uzumaki. After what happened to Whirlpool and the Uzumaki clan, people lost hope, but the last survivor has the right to reclaim his title as heir. And Naruto being a Uzumaki makes him the owner of all Whirlpool, right? Finished Hinata with amazement in her eyes. That's right, after the war, the Whirlpool stayed in ruins. There is no one living in the main island. Wave used to be a part of the Whirlpool, but we separated after the war. Even so, we never lost hope to find one survivor, exclaimed Tazuna. Naruto was trying to digest all these news. All I know about my mother is that her name was Kushina Uzumaki, and that she had quite a temper, that and the fact that she was sent to Konoha to be the Jinchuriki of the QB. Lastly, I learned that she married a BSRD named Minato Namikaze and that he used me as the next Jinchuriki, thinking people would look at me like a hero. Tazuna had heard about the Nine Tails. There was a rumor about Konoha being leveled by a demon about 12 years ago. At this time, a little kid entered the room. He was about to say something but stayed silent when Naruto started to talk again. The village saw me like a demon, and every day I had to run for my life, eat garbage to calm my hunger. Every day the villagers would play hunt the demon and beat me within an inch of my life, broken, crying, and hungry. Sometimes I pleaded them to just kill me, but they took pleasure in leaving me alive to be beaten to death the next day. The boy that entered the room just slumped into the ground. He couldn't believe that someone could have it worse than him. Eventually things got worse as the villagers learned that I didn't die easily. They learned that the QB healed me faster and started to become more violent. Hinata approached him from behind and hugged him tightly. But sometimes they would leave me with scars all over the chest. There was one time when I thought I could finally die. They left me with the ribcage open. Hinata started to cry and hugged him tighter, placing her hands over his chest. The only kindness I found in that place was from Inu and the Hokage, but that didn't make the beatings any less painful. Naruto took Hinata's hand and moved her in front of him to hug her. I didn't know the meaning of friendship until I was 8, and that was because Itachi and Ai-san rescued me from that hellhole. Eventually Hinata joined up, and Fu came along the way. Protested Fu. But that is part of the past now. I promised myself to never cry again and to be stronger to protect everyone I care for, finished Naruto with a smile. The boy that was hiding near the door got up and walked out without being noticed. It must have been hell for you, kid, but I can guarantee that no one here sees you like a monster, said Tazuna with a smile. Tsunami went back to the room and introduced herself. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm sorry for my lack of introduction, Uzumaki-sama. My name is Tsunami and it's my pleasure to have you in my humble house, bowed Tsunami with respect. Don't do that please, I'm only a kid and nothing more you see. I don't have any extra bone on my body that makes me different or special in any way, said Naruto smiling to the woman. Thank you Naruto-san, now if you would allow me I will take you to your rooms. I'm sure you must be tired of all the traveling from Konoha to here, said Tsunami totally unaware that they were not Konohanins. We are not Konohanins, we came from Suna in the Wind Country. Either way thank you for your hospitality. Tsunami apologized and quickly showed them their rooms. Itachi took the first room and closed the door before Naruto could enter and put a seal. Hey! What are you doing, Heisen? Yelled Naruto at the door. I will not tolerate your snoring another night. Hinata-chan can deal with you if she wants to, or you can sleep in the hallway, but there is not way in hell I'm sleeping with you another night, answered Itachi with a calm voice from the other side. Hinata blushed at this as her brain started to work different scenes with Naruto and her alone in the room. Naruto saw this and panicked. Hina-chan, don't worry. I can sleep in the living room. Hinata shook her head. Is okay, Rokuin. We are only going to sleep. We are too young for anything else, and besides I trust in you. Well, you guys can sort this out. I'm going to sleep, said Fu, taking the smaller room. Before Naruto could retreat to the living room, a red-faced Hinata took his hand and dragged him to their room. Our room, that sounds nice. AN is just innocent love. They are not going to do anything M+ rated. At least not yet. Once inside the room, Naruto and Hinata stood in front of the door in silence. Should you get ready to sleep, stuttered Hinata. Naruto turned to her somewhat amused. It had been so long since the last time she had stuttered, and this was her idea. A grin appeared in Naruto's face. Yeah, we should, so you want me to change first? I wouldn't mind giving you a little show, said Naruto while he put his arms around Hinata's waist. Hinata was getting totally red. I guess I must leave you to get changed, she said almost too fast that Naruto couldn't understand. But that wouldn't be funny. Besides, this was your idea, remember, Hina-chan? Said Naruto, whispering at Hinata's ear. Hinata was about to faint when she caught Naruto's game. A grin appeared in Hinata's face. I guess you are right, Naruto-kun. There would be no fun in that, and this was indeed my idea, so let me begin. Hinata walked away. Her hands reached her top and took it out. Naruto quickly turned around, and this gave Hinata another idea. She reached for Naruto's backpack and got one of his shirts out. Naruto has been eating proper food and is growing steadily thanks to Itachi looking out for him and Hinata making him eat his veggies. She put on the shirt and noticed it was bigger than it. Looked as it reached above her knees. Naruto gulped at sound of cloths falling to the ground. Suddenly a pair of arms hugged him from behind. Hina, what? Naruto turned around and saw her with his shirt on, and she looked cute. Hinata remembered what Naruto had said before, the beatings and abuse that the village put him through. She slowly removed Naruto's shirt. Naruto blushed at this but then stopped when he felt her touch in his chest. She ran her fingers across the big scar left when he got his ribcage opened. He took her hand in his and kissed it. Hinata kissed the scar in return and lifted her head to kiss him in the lips. We better go to sleep, my princess. We need to get up early tomorrow, said Naruto, and Hinata nodded. Naruto carried her bridal style and took her to bed. He laid down next to her and slid her cheek. Hinata cuddled next to him and snuggled in his chest, sighing contently. Naruto kissed the top of her head and closed his eyes only to open them again, but this time in a sewer. Where the hell am I? Naruto turned around and saw Hinata beside him. Hina-chan. Are you okay? Asked Naruto. Hinata nodded and turned around. Where are we? Do you think we were attacked while sleeping? Asked Hinata. I don't think so, and Ai-san would have noticed before. Naruto took one of Hinata's hand and started walking through the sewer. Look who decided to visit the prisoner, resonated a voice all over the sewer. Both of them stood in front of a jail. Naruto-kun, what is this place? Asked Hinata. I don't know, but this can't be good. Naruto turned and patted Hinata. Stay here, I'm going to check that giant jail. Be careful, Naruto-kun, warned Hinata, letting go Naruto's hand. Is this some kind of joke? This little runt is the jailer of the great Kyubi no Yuko? At the gates of the jail appeared two big red eyes and a big grin. Naruto's eyes widened and quickly got closer to the jail. A big claw was in its way to Naruto, but the boy didn't even flinch and just raised one hand. When Kyuubi's claw stopped right in front of the kid, Naruto only stretched his hand a bit more and touched Kyuubi's paw. "Wow, you got soft paws. I don't think there are softer paws than this in the entire world," said the kid, putting aside the fact that the demon almost crushed him. "That's right, kid. There are not other paws in the entire world that are softer than mine. Not even the Nibby has paws like these," said Kyuubi, bragging about his paws. "What the hell did I mean? Are you aware that I almost killed you? And that if it's my will I could have your mate for dinner?" Kyuubi was amused by this boy. "Yeah, but you could have done that the very moment I entered this place with her, right? Besides, I haven't done anything wrong, if all it is fault of that idiot who sealed you inside of me," said Naruto. "Oh yeah, well, if you feel so sorry, why don't you get me out of this? You only need to tear that seal in the gate and I will be free," said Kyuubi. Naruto knew the risk of doing this. The Kyuubi could very well escape and kill him in the spot and do the same to Hinata, but Kyuubi didn't deserve being sealed. "Kyuubi, before I do that, could you tell me why did you attack that stupid village? You are a powerful being, so you could have done that at any moment, but why that day?" Kyuubi looked at the boy, waiting for the hate-filled look, but he found none. "People only looked at me like some kind of weapon. I've been sealed for so long that and even when I can see the outer world I can't smell it," said the Kyuubi before looking once more to the kid. "A long time ago I met a man by the name of Hashirama Senju. He approached me and we developed what you humans call friendship. One day a man by the name of Madara Uchiha used his eyes to try and control me, but Hashirama acted quickly and commanded her wife Mito Uzumaki to seal me inside of her. Being the first Jinchuriki, he promised to return my freedom once he found a way to do it. But he died and his wife still had me sealed." Kyuubi saw the surprise in Naruto's eyes. "When she was about to die, I thought I could finally be free, but that wretched woman didn't honor Hashirama's wish and brought another kid from the Uzumaki clan to seal me once again, this time in a girl by the name of Kushina Uzumaki." Kyuubi saw the glint in Naruto's eyes when he said her mother's name. "That woman had character, but she didn't want it to be the vessel of my power and I didn't want to be used like a weapon. The only thing I ever wanted was freedom. When I met Kushina we did a deal. I wouldn't bother her in her whole life span and once she died she would let me free." Kyuubi remembered what happened 12 years ago and his expression immediately changed to one of anger and hurt. "When she was pregnant, the seal was getting unstable. I tried to suppress my power to help her deal with the pain. Even your father tried to reinforce the seal, but we didn't thought that another man of the Uchiha clan would infiltrate the place where your mother was and kidnap you." Hinata went to Naruto's side and took his hand in hers, trying to comfort him. Minato quickly went to engage him, but in the end it was only a clone and that man was still with Kushina. He used the same Sharingan that Madara used to try and control me, but his power was not as great and I lost control. Your mother survived the extraction, but that man killed her at that moment." Naruto let go Hinata's hand and walked over to the seal. Without thinking it twice he ripped the seal and opened the gate. "I thought you would want to know all the story before you ripped the seal." Kyuubi was confused by his actions. "You know that there is nothing impeding your death now, right?" "I know, and you can kill me if you want, but I also know that the people who didn't keep their promise of freedom was Konoha, and I am sure that they would have tried to seal you again once you were outside. I don't like the thought of dying, but at the same time I know that someone has to honor the promise made to you," said Naruto with determination in his eyes. Kyuubi was speechless. The boy knew that he could die, but he gave away his life to repair the honor of someone that didn't have anything to do with him. "Haha, you are truly amusing, kid. I will not kill you, but be warned. If you don't keep your word, then there will be hell to pay." So Kyuubi. Naruto smiled at this. "Don't worry, I will have thought of some way to let you out of here. Besides, I will need help destroying the leaf for what they did to us. Kid, don't make me regret my decision and live up to my expectations." Naruto nodded and he was about to turn around and talk to Hinata when he noticed that the girl was nowhere to be seen. "Hina-chan? Where are you?" Then Naruto heard some laughs from Kyuubi's cage and noticed Hinata rubbing her cheek against Kyuubi's nose. "You are so cute. How can people call you demon when you are the biggest, fluffiest and cutest thing in all the world?" This put Kyuubi in a prediction. Here was the king of the bijou being petted, and the worst was that he liked it. "I can bite your head off, you know," said Kyuubi, kind of annoyed, but Hinata looked at his eyes. "But you are so cute, you wouldn't bite me, right? Because you like when I do this." Hinata went behind his ear and started scratching it. What the hell do you think that you are? Oh my god. QB slumped in the ground and started to move one of his back legs. Who is a cute and nice boy? Said Hinata, scratching one more time and getting out of him, walking to Naruto's side. What happened here will not reach the ears of the other Bijus, understood? Warned QB, and the boys just nodded. What happened? Exclaimed someone coming from the seal. How did you get out of your seal, and why didn't I notice? Everyone turned to see at the man standing behind QB right where the seal was. Minato, that's because your son took the seal without me using chakra to draw him to it. Minato looked at Naruto in shock. You. Naruto quickly created a Rasengan and tried to smash it into Minato. You Bisu, wait till I get you, I'm going to repay you with the same hell you put me through. An angered Naruto started trying to kill his own father. What are you talking about? You are a hero, what hell are you talking about? QB used one of his tails and grabbed Minato. This hell, answered QB, showing Minato everything Naruto had gone through. No. They were supposed to protect you. They were supposed to see you like a hero for your sacrifice at stopping the demon. At this, Naruto punched the man while he was trapped in QB's tail. QB is not a demon. You will not label him like one when you know nothing about him, yelled Naruto at Minato's face. Minato could only see hate in his own son. It was so much that it hurt. But don't worry, Dad, the real demon is going to die. I promise you that Konoha is going to die, and by my own hand, claimed Naruto, earning a shocked face from Minato and a grin from QB and Hinata. But then the sacrifice I did, the love your mother had for the village, everything will be for nothing, Minato tried to persuade Naruto. I would care less about your so-called sacrifice, and Mom would actually be at my side if she knew what my life was like. QB sensed another presence and quickly released Minato. Then please show me what you went through, my son, asked the voice of a woman. Everyone was surprised to see a red-haired woman standing next to QB. Is really you? Naruto whispered, earning a nod from Kushina. She is really beautiful, though, Hinata taking notice of the woman's hair and quickly brushing her own with her hand. Kushina, I don't think it's wise for you to see the life your son had to carry. Kushina glared at him, interrupting him. I have every right to know how has been treated my own son, as I recall Minato telling me he would be proclaimed a hero and loved by everyone. She took one of QB's tails. Now show me, demanded Kushina. QB nodded. Minato, it would be a good idea for you to run while you can. QB started to show her everything. Kushina's eyes widened and filled with tears at the images passing through her mind. But when the last one showed up, her son with a ribcage open and being left to die, she couldn't contain herself anymore and quickly let go of QB's tail to go and hug her son. She cried, apologizing to her son for not being there, and Naruto could only cry with her and hug her. After Kushina calmed herself, she glared at Minato. I hope the leaf is prepared to suffer the consequences of their sins. She walked to Minato. I don't think I can forgive you for what you have done to our son. And the worst is that you don't have any more time to make amends to him, but if life wanted and some kind of deity loves you enough to make our son forgive you, then we will talk in the afterlife. Kushina went to her son once again and this time approached Hinata. Thank you for being there for him, and please take care of him for me, would you? Hinata nodded and hugged the woman. Minato didn't have any more time and started to fade away. I hope you can forgive me for everything, Naruto. I never wanted it to be this way. Maybe one day, but not now, answered Naruto. Minato nodded and faded away completely. QB, I know we weren't in the best terms, but please forgive me for not being able to hold my promise to you. I know I have no right, but... QB stopped her. I know, and it was not your fault. You couldn't fight in that state, and I don't hate you or your son. I will protect him and teach him everything I can to make him stronger, declared QB, earning a smile from Kushina. Thank you, is almost time for me to go, but before that... She turned to Hinata and hugged her. I will give you a gift to protect you and Naruto-kun. This kind of chakra I'm about to give you will help you create my favorite weapons. Kushina made a hand sign and put her hands in Hinata's heart. At Hinata's hands appeared chakra chains. You must learn how to use them, all right? Hinata nodded and hugged Kushina once more. Thank you to Kushina-sen. Kushina frowned at this. Just call me Ka-sen, okay? She winked at Hinata and then went to hug her son. And you little man, take care of her, get strong so you can protect her, okay? Naruto nodded and kissed her mother. After this, Kushina finally disappeared, leaving Kyuubi and kids alone. I guess it's time for me to introduce myself. Kyuubi stood up and looked at the kids. I am the Kyuubi no Yuko, the god of the eternal flames and the king of the bijus. Kurama. Some fireworks went at the background. Naruto's sweat dropped and Hinata clapped at Kurama's introduction. And from now on, you, Uzumaki Naruto, will be my apprentice. Okay kids, I think you have been here enough for my liking, so how about you get out of here? Naruto looked at Kurama. I don't know, but something tells me that you like the company. Anyway, I think it's time we get a decent sleep, but before that let's change this creepy place. If you are going to be jailed inside of me, at least you are going to have the best jail ever. Naruto closed his eyes and started concentrating. The jail started to fade away and the sewer to melt away. Now they were in a forest. I like this place, kid. You may not be a bad host after all. Good to know you like it, Kurama. See you later, said Naruto, walking away. See you later, Kurichan, said Hinata, kissing Kurama's nose and fading before he could say something about his nickname. If the others get wind of what happened here, I will not hear the end of it, said Kurama, drifting off to sleep. Naruto opened his eyes to see it was still midnight. He turned to Hinata and saw her smiling to him. She snuggled in his chest once again and Naruto stroked her hair with affection. Hinata once more lifted her head and kissed Naruto on the lips. Once they parted, they went to sleep, happy with the outcome of what had happened on Naruto's mind. XX Kano? Next morning, XX. Tenten was training with her father. It had been 2 years since she was adopted into the Amiya household by her now mother, Amiya Rin. Tenten-chan, you need to focus more into the style. If you really want to be a strong kunoichi like Tsunade-sama, then you must take your weapon mastery to another level, but I can't help you if you don't take it seriously, said Amiya Shiro, the only master weaponsmith's Konoha. Shiro was known for his skills with weapons and his stunts at the Third Shinobi War. He got the nickname Archer for his speciality with bows and excellent sight. Come on dear, don't be so hard with her. She is trying hard and she is improving fast. Or do I need to remind you that she wasn't born in this family? Even so, you started training her when you saw she had potential, said Rin while hugging her daughter. Don't worry dear, you will do better next time, and you will only get better with hard work and practice. Tenten smiled at her mother's words and nodded. I need to go with my team, Osan, Okasan. I will see you later, said Tenten, running out of the house. She really liked her new family and the attention her parents gave to her. Ever since she saw her father's weapons, it immediately woke up a special interest into learning her family's ways. Tenten-san, you are late, yelled a boy in a full green spandex suit and brows as big as caterpillars. I'm sorry, I was with Dad training in the family style, but I can't get the hold of it, said Tenten with a saddened expression. Is not a surprise, seeing as you were not born in that family. Destiny decreed you to be a failure in the arts of the Amiya clan, said Niji with a straight face. Tenten couldn't understand how Niji could be so heartless. She always cared for him and helped him train and get up whenever he failed, but when she needed the most he only pushed her lower. Niji! That was not the right thing to tell to your own teammate and friend, scolded a man in a green spandex suit just like the one the previous boy had. I don't care if it was right or not, it was the true and she needed to hear it. Her destiny is to be useless. Niji smirked, seeing how angry his sensei was getting. Tenten couldn't take it anymore and started to run away. Enough. Niji, go run 100 laps around Konoha and think about what you have done. Niji started to run around Konoha, but something inside of him was bugging him. Tenten ran inside her home and towards her room, but Rin noticed this and decided to go and check over her daughter. She entered Tenten's room and started comforting her daughter. Tenchan? What is the matter, honey? Why are you crying? Tenten hugged her mother and cried even more. Niji said that my destiny was to be a failure in our family style, she said between sobs. Rin frowned at this and raised her daughter's head. Now you will hear me. I don't know who does that Niji think he is, but he doesn't know a thing about our family. Your father took years to be as good as he is now, and it was only because he worked all his life to protect the ones he cared the most. He was not even proficient with weapons till he was 20. And even so, he took another 6 years to develop our family's secret jutsu. So let that smart but say whatever he wants. He is only an emotive boy who just wants attention for himself with all that crap about destiny. Tenten was shocked at her mother's words. She couldn't believe that her father was not always the war hero she thought he was. But father always says, he only wants you to improve, he knows you want to be strong like Tsunade Senju. If your father is a bit harsh is because he wants you to train harder, but he loves you with all his heart and is so proud of you for trying to be stronger every day, reassured Rin to her daughter smiling. Thanks Ka-san, you are right, I can't let that JRK put me down like that. Even if I like him so much. Tenten realized just what she said and quickly blushed and hid her face in a pillow, leaving Rin amused at her daughter's antics. So that's why it hurt you so much, eh? Well, you only need to show that JRK who he messed up with, smiled Rin and then left her daughter's room. You are amazing, you know that? Only you could cheer our daughter like that. A white-haired man hugged her from behind. Of course I am. So you better take care of me. Shiro only laughed at this. XX wave XX. Itachi and Hinata and I are going to train. Itachi nodded and turned to Tazuna. I will be your guard today, Tazuna-san. Zabuza-san is still too weak to move and his apprentice is taking care of him. Itachi and Tazuna started to walk towards the bridge. Are you sure it's okay to leave them in the house? Asked Tazuna, worried for his family. Please be assured that your family is going to be okay. Zabuza and Naruto made a deal and Zabuza wouldn't let anything harm his honor. Tazuna nodded at this and relaxed a bit. With Naruto and Hinata. Naruto-kun, do you think we should try and talk with Kuri-chan again? Maybe he can help us with some training. Okay Hina-chan, let's do that. They both closed their eyes and went into Naruto's mindscape. XX back at Konoha XX. Ino, what have I told you? I want you to become a good kunoichi for the leaf. I know Tsunade is a strong ninja, but I don't approve her like someone you should look up to. She left the village when we most needed her. She is just a traitor. Said Inoichi Yamanaka. The truth was, he used to look up to the sages too, but when the Kyuubi's attack took place and they weren't there to help, he got disappointed. But for Ino to reach Tsunade's strength was her main goal. She wanted to learn medical jutsu and help the others, just as he would always help anyone that needed it. She had been Sasuke's fangirl just to fit in the academy, but her heart already had an owner. I don't care what you think, father, I will become a great kunoichi, yelled Ino, slamming her door. Inoichi just rubbed his temples. Her daughter was really impossible. Kiba and Sakura were near Konoha. It would only take them one day to get there. Sakura was carrying Sasuke while Kiba and Akamaru took Kakashi. They were near a lake when Kakashi's eyes opened. What happened? Sakura, Kiba, where are we and what happened to our client and Naruto? Asked Kakashi, fearing about the mission success. Kiba grinned at his sensei while puffing his chest out in pride. Don't worry, Kakashi-sensei, that drunk old man got what he deserved and we abandoned him. After all, he couldn't pay the right amount, right? Yeah, and besides, that idiot doesn't matter. The only important thing to you should be worry about my Sasuke-kun's well-being, added Sakura, agreeing with Kiba. Oh, so you two genins took it up to decide that we needed to retreat to Konoha and show the other villages that if you can't pay the right amount you don't get help, right? And because you guys had the higher rank, thought it would be a very clever move, right? Asked Kakashi, losing his cool. You didn't even realize that Sasuke's wound was already healing. You failed to notice that if we continued the mission we could have some kind of shelter from the weather and heal faster, yelled an angry Kakashi. Kiba wet himself and Sakura didn't know where to hide. BB, but Kakashi-sensei, we thought. You thought wrong, Haruno. We are Konoha. We don't deflect and we never let the mission end no matter what. That is what being a Konoha shinobi is all about. You didn't even remembered my words from that day on the test when you three failed your test, and if it weren't for the council kissing Sasuke's, but you wouldn't be a ninja to begin with. Yelled Kakashi at the two failures he had for students. Sasuke woke up at all the screaming and looked at his surroundings, noticing they were not in wave. Where are we? Sasuke felt the pain through his body. He wasn't bleeding, but the pain was enough to make him lay down. Sasuke-kun. Don't move, honey, you are injured, said the pink-haired Nin with concern in her voice, approaching the Uchiha heir. What the hell? Don't touch me, you freak. Sasuke pushed Sakura aside. Sakura's vision began to get blur as tears poured out of her eyes. Hey, butthole. She was worried about you, yelled Kiba. Don't yell at Sasuke-kun, idiot, yelled Sakura to Kiba and punched him in the head. What the hell? You idiot, I was only. You know what, forget it, I'm done with you, said Kiba, turning back. That's what you get for. Sakura couldn't finish. That's enough. You are the worst piece of trash I have ever seen in my life. You can't even cover each other backs without stabbing yourselves. We are going back to Wave and we are going to finish this mission either you like it or not. Everyone just hung their heads with shame, except for Sasuke. Finally, something that makes sense. Kakashi sent a glare to Sasuke that immediately made him shut up. We are moving now. Sasuke, you can't even walk and that's why Sakura will carry you. Sasuke's face paled at the idea. He tried to argue but Kakashi's face told him to restrain himself from doing it. Time to make you suffer, thought Kakashi. XX meanwhile in Fujibajashi village at south of no Kuni XX. Master Kiri. Are you sure? We have been in there already and nothing was found. I don't think there is any survivor, said a strange man with a sukkot covering most of his face. This doesn't concern you, Akito. Besides, Master Kushina was taken to Konoha before the war. If she is alive, then we can rebuild our master's clan. We owe the Uzumakis for saving us, remember? Said with conviction the man called Kiri. Yes, master. I'm sorry for my bluntness, master, bowed Akito. Is okay, but for now let us go. We need to reach border between Wave and Fire Country. That way Kirin's family will not know of our plans. Akito nodded and both quickly continued their travel. XX Kakashi's team 3 days later. XX. Sakura, Kiba and Sasuke were camping near the place they left Tazuna, trying to know where the old man could have gone. Sasuke had healed enough and could walk on his own, much to Sakura's dismay. Neither of them had spoke to Kakashi. They didn't want to see him angry again, so they just did whatever they were told to do. Even Sasuke agreed to everything he was told to do. We need to move again once we have rest enough. Haruno, go and retrieve water from the lake. Inazuka, you go and gather some food. We don't know if we are going to be welcomed in Tazuna's house, commanded Kakashi. They should feel honored to have Sasuke-kun stay with them, argued Sakura. Shut up, Haruno. I'm not in the mood right now, so just do what you were told. Kakashi glared at Sakura, who just nodded. XX Tazuna's house. XX. Zabuza had recovered enough to walk and train, but his wounds wouldn't let him fight for a while. It seems you are okay now, Zabuza, said Naruto. What are you doing here, kid? I thought you would be with your little girlfriend. Naruto smirked at Zabuza. I am with her. I'm just a shadow clone. Boss wanted me to come and make sure you kept your promise, remember? You lost and now you have to hear me out, said Naruto. Zabuza closed his eyes in annoyance and motioned to him to start the talk. I want you to join us, Zabuza. Be my kendo teacher. Zabuza chuckled at this. You think that me, the demon of the mist, would just babysit a kid? Come on, boy, give me more credit. Zabuza then laid down to rest. Well, I don't see the problem. You already have an apprentice. What if you get another one? Besides, let's say that you and I become pals, and that you want to take out an enemy. Wouldn't it be better to take out that enemy with the power of the Nine Tails as one of your friends? Zabuza got interested by this. It certainly was one heck of a deal. He could easily take Mist with the Kyuubi. Think about it, Zabuza. Who knows? Maybe you will start taking a like to training people. With that, the clone dispelled itself. With Naruto and Hinata. And that is how the basic of Fuinjutsu works. Got it, Naruto? If you master it, you will be unstoppable. Naruto nodded at this. So this thing here in my belly is a seal, right? Kurama nodded. And is a high-level seal, right? Kurama nodded again. Okay, I think I got it. Don't worry, Kurama. I will find a way to let you out of the seal. You just wait and see, said Naruto, grinning. Kurama turned his attention to Hinata. I want you to try and summon your chakra chains. Hinata nodded and complied. Hinata, you hair! Exclaimed Naruto while pointing to her head. She took some of her hair into her hand and saw that it changed color to a bright red. Like Kushina's. Must be some kind of secondary effect to using the chakra she gave you to activate the chains. It should have allocated in some place, but it looks like with enough control you can revert the color or perhaps control it at will, stated Kurama. Understood, Kuri-chan. So now what? Asked Hinata. Now get out of here and spare me some time. Try to adapt your style into using the chains. It will give you a boost for your attacks to mid-long range. Kurama let the nickname slip aside since the girl was nice enough, but he wouldn't let the other Bijus that he took a liking to a human girl, and the girlfriend of his host nonetheless. Nope, he would not hear the end of this if Matatabi learned that the king has a soft spot. XX Kiri to land of waves XX. Kiri and Akito had been traveling non-stop and were actually traveling to Wave in hopes someone knew something about the Uzumaki clan. After all, Wave was once a part of Whirlpool. They just arrived the village and were quickly surprised to see the whole place devastated. It looked like a ghost town. They were walking to the house of one of their friends when something caught their attention. It was a girl with red hair training with chains, chakra chains. Kiri quickly approached the girl. "Excuse me?" Hinata turned around and looked at Kiri. "Yes? Is there any problem?" asked Hinata, somehow cautious of the men in front of her. "No, I just wanted to know your name. I knew someone that looked exactly like you, but well, let's just say that I am curious to know if you are related to her." Hinata forgot that her hair was red at the moment, so she thought they were after the Byakugan. "I'm sorry, but I don't know any of you, but if it helps you ease your mind, my name is Hinata Uzumaki," lied Hinata while blushing at the thought of using Naruto's last name. "It's you. You are the last Uzumaki. You are the heir of the Whirlpool." They quickly bowed down. "What? No, I..." Hinata couldn't finish because someone was calling her. "Hina-chan, I'm back." "Who are these guys, Hina-chan?" Naruto hugged her and Akito quickly stood up, hitting Naruto and taking him away from Hinata and putting him in the ground. "What the hell do you think you are doing, brat? Show respect for the heir of the Whirlpool," said Akito, glaring at Naruto. Hinata quickly punched Akito in the face and helped Naruto stand up. "Just who the hell do you think you are?" yelled Naruto. Akito angered him and looked at Hinata. "Hinata-sama, why do you allow such a low life have that kind of familiarity with you? Is not proper of an Uzumaki." "Wait, did you said Uzumaki? Hinata, what is happening here and why do they think that you are an Uzumaki if we are not married yet?" asked Naruto the last part in a murmur, but Hinata still heard it and blushed furiously. "It is my fault, Naruto-kun. I thought they were after my Byakugan and told them my name was Hinata Uzumaki. I didn't want it to cause you troubles," said Hinata, bowing down a little as an apologize. Naruto hugged her again and patted her head. "Don't worry, besides it suits you that hee. What is happening here?" asked Kiri, obviously shocked at Hinata's words. "A long story, but she thought you were enemies and gave you another name. But what truly makes me curious is, how do you know about the Uzumakis, and what do you know about my clan?" asked Naruto. "We know nothing of your clan, you insolent brat. We are on an important trip to look for the heir of the Uzumaki. We don't have to waste in you," answered Akito. "Oh yeah? Well then I suppose that I would." Naruto was interrupted when someone approached the four of them. "Hey you Uzumaki brat. I will accept your offer, but you will practice with my apprentice Haku," said Zabuza, appearing from nowhere and standing between Kirai and Naruto. "Did you said Uzumaki? You mean this guy is an Uzumaki? But that can't be, Uzumakis have red hair like her." "Not him," said Kiri while Akito was starting to sweat a lot. Hinata dispelled the chakra chains and her hair turned black again. "My mother was Kushina Uzumaki, from the Uzumaki clan, and this is my mate Hinata. The reason behind her red hair is something that I don't need to discuss with you as I don't know who are you, but the reason why my hair is not red is because my father was blonde, and I took after him," said Naruto. Akito quickly kneeled and started apologizing. "I am so sorry, Master Uzumaki, I didn't know." Naruto glared at the man. He was the kind of man that you could find in Konoha's council, quickly on their knees when they needed to kiss someone's but to save theirs. "Just shut up, I don't have time for people like you." Naruto turned and started to leave when Kirai stopped him. "Please wait, he may be harsh sometimes and a fool, and a hard-headed, and sometimes an idiot who doesn't think before heading into action." Akito frowned at this. "Hey." Kiri frowned at him and then looked at Naruto again. "But he is a good man, and I would gladly put my life in his hands. Please forgive him if he did something to raise your anger." Naruto looked at the man. "I don't forgive people like him, but I will only give him one chance. He needs to change." With this, Naruto started walking away. Hinata looked the longing in Kiri's eyes and smiled. "You were looking for Naruto all this time? I'm sorry I lied to you before, but I didn't know if you were after me for my bloodline." Hinata bowed, but Kiri stopped her. "Don't worry, Hinata-sama, it was our fault for jumping into conclusions and for not having more tact while approaching you." Hinata nodded and motioned for them to follow. "We will talk about any question you may have in the house. You can have some food and rest there." Hinata guided them through the forest to the house. 21 hours later with Team Kakashi XX. Okay, looks like this is the place. Be prepared guys, I don't know what will happen if Naruto's team decided to help Tazuna-san, and with that they knocked the door. It opened in Tazuna's house 45 minutes before. Kiri and Akito were following Hinata to the house. They couldn't believe they were finally going to talk with the heir of the Uzumaki clan. Thought one question was in their minds, what happened to Kushina? Once in Tazuna's house they both greeted Tsunami. Pardon our intrusion to you, how's my name is Kiri from the Tsukimi clan, and this is Akito Tenkawa, my bodyguard. Tsunami nodded and introduced herself. Naruto then started to question Kiri, why were you guys looking for an Uzumaki anyway? Have you been looking since the war? Yes, Naruto-sama, we used to be great friends of the Uzumaki clan. The Tsukimi clan used to guard the daimyo, but after Kushina-sama, granddaughter of the daimyo and heir to the clan, departed to Konoha. Wait. Naruto interrupted, you knew my mother? Yes, Naruto-sama, my father used to be Kushina-sama guard and I used to be her friend. She went to Konoha for the orders of Mito Uzumaki, but we don't know why she couldn't come back to Konoha, explained Kiri. I know the reason, and is because she fell in love with the man that would be known as the Yellow Flash of Konoha. The reason I'm blonde is because my father was blonde, but let's forget about that as it is not a happy topic. But what happened to Lady Kushina? Interrupted Akito, getting an annoyed expression from Naruto, who just sighed. She was called by Mito Uzumaki to be the host of the Kyubi no Yuko, the king of the Bijou, god of the eternal flames. Kyubi no Yuko corrected himself when Kurama complained for the tasteless introduction. But then, Mito Uzumaki lied to the council from Uzushiogakure. She asked for Kushina because she wanted her and her daughter to get close and that friendship would later unite Uzushiogakure and Konoha, said Akito, surprised by this. If the daimyo had known that his granddaughter went to Konoha to guard a demon inside of her, he would have asked for Mito's head. When I was born something happened, continued Naruto, that someone attacked when my mother was in labor. He used the situation and freed Kyubi from her, weakening her in the process. Minato fought against them, but Kushina had died when he came back, and Minato sealed Kyubi inside of me. But then why does her hair change color when she uses the chakra chains? I know that those chains can only be wielded by a person with a certain kind of chakra, and that's why only Uzumakis could use them, asked a confused Akito. That's because thanks to Kyubi we meet my mother, and she gave Hinata her remaining chakra as a gift for always being there for me. When she used the chains for the first time I noticed that her hair changed color. Hinata summoned her chakra chains while Naruto explained. That makes sense, the chakra should have allocated somewhere trying to not being expelled by her body, explained Kiri, and Naruto nodded at this. And what are you doing in this place, Naruto-sama? Did Konoha send you here in a mission? Naruto clenched his fist at the mention of the village. As if, I'm not a ninja in that stupid village. Hinata hugged Naruto, calming him down. They were really cruel with him just because he was the container of the Kyubi. He was always beat to death and let to heal just to beat him again the next day, said Hinata. Kiri could see the hate in Naruto's eyes and understood that Konoha had fallen from its former glory after Hashirama's death. The villagers couldn't see that the boy was a hero and not a demon. Just how low had Konoha fallen if they vent their frustration in a kid who did nothing wrong aside from protecting his home? He turned to Akito and then to Naruto and bowed down. Master Naruto, we pledge our unconditional loyalty to you as the true heir of the Whirlpool. Please let us help you with whatever we can. Naruto waved his hand dismissively. Just forget that crap, but I assure you that I plan on rising Uzushiogakure again, and this time nothing will bring us down. Kiri and Akito smiled at Naruto's word and nodded. Once everything was settled down, they started talking about their time in Uzushiogakure. XX Kakashi's Team XX. Well, it looks like this is the place. Be careful guys, I don't know what will happen if Naruto's team decided to help Tazuna. Kakashi knocked the door. It opened and Hinata greeted them. What are you doing here? Naruto and Kiri quickly went to Hinata's side and Naruto spotted Kakashi and his team. What are you doing here, Inu? I thought I had made your genins run like little rats, asked an angered Naruto who was leaking Kurama's chakra and killer intent. Yes you did, but I am the Jounin and the decision to leave was not made by me, so I came to apologize to the client, shrugged Kakashi. Sasuke took a look at Naruto and smirked. What's the matter, Dobe? Afraid that I will do better than you if I take the mission again. As if a loser like you could do anything in this mission, or should I remind you that you were almost killed by Zabuza when we saved your royal butt? Naruto smirked at Sasuke's annoyance. I was just... He couldn't finish his sentence as Zabuza appeared behind Naruto. You were just what, brat? Come on and enlighten me, I will not hesitate to kill you this time, threatened Zabuza. Sasuke swallowed hard and decided to shut himself. Oh, what's the matter, Sasuke? Did the cat got your tongue? Asked Naruto. Kakashi tensed when he saw Zabuza with Naruto. What are you doing here, Zabuza? Well, I lost the fight with the brat and we had an agreement, so I decided to become his new sensei, smirked Zabuza. Oh, so the demon of the mist is now a babysitter? How cute, mocked Kakashi. I told you this would happen, brat. Zabuza slapped Naruto and then turned to Kakashi. Let's just say that is in my best interest to befriend other demons. Kakashi's eyes went wide at this. Naruto, why did you tell him? What does it matter? You are not my father and I'm free to do whatever I want with my life. Anyway, why did you come back? Don't tell me you really believe Tazuna will just forget what happened before with your brilliant team. What would you know, idiot? We are shinobis after all, and he will be honored that Sasuke-kun is sparing some of his valuable time to help this village. Akito quickly recognized the arrogance in the little girl and decided to fight fire with fire. And what would you know? You should be honored to be in the presence of the great heir of the Uzumaki clan. But that only shows the ignorance in your village. For the first time, Naruto smirked at the man. Sasuke quickly stared at Naruto, surprised with this information. So the Dobe belongs to a clan? Fu and Hinata stood beside Naruto, and not only any clan, the Uzumaki clan, which had a power and wealth bigger than any other. Sasuke was about to retort when a girl in a blue kimono appeared next to Zabuza. Sakura saw her Sasuke blush and then looked at the girl again. Haku ignored them and just talked to Zabuza. Sensei, you shouldn't be walking yet, you are not fully recovered. I'm fine, Haku, and besides I don't feel like staying in bed all day. I'll become fat, argued Zabuza. Oda-san, go to bed now or I'll make you. Zabuza nodded but stayed in his place. Just wait till these guys are gone. Zabuza pointed to the Konoha shinobi. Why are those weaklings here? Shouldn't they be with their moms crying because they got a difficult mission? Smirked Haku and then disappeared. What the? Sakura was going to argue but Kakashi stopped her. We just want to see Tazuna and apologize. Naruto, I really want to talk with you and make you see how wrong are you, but we will talk about that later. For now we have an injured and if you let us we would like to rest. Tsunami saw Sasuke's wound and was about to guide them into a room but stopped when she remembered that those were the shinobi that let her father to die just for money. I'm sorry, but I don't have any room for you to stay. We are completely full at the moment with the shinobi that is guarding my father. She made sure to remark the guarding part. Kakashi saw it coming, but he could do nothing to repair the damage. I understand. Do you mind if we camp outside your house? We would like to talk with Tazuna when he arrives. Tsunami nodded her head and went to the kitchen to prepare the food. Hinata followed her to help and make Naruto's food. Zabuza went to search for Haku and tell her the news. Naruto went into the forest followed by Kiri. Akito walked inside the house to protect Hinata if it was needed. Kakashi saw Naruto and Kiri disappear in the forest and decided to follow them. You have grown well, Naruto. Naruto turned around and saw Kakashi. And you are still the same Inu, always stalking me. Kakashi giggled at this. Naruto, do you hate me? Have I done something to make you hate me? Just call me Kakashi, by the way. I'm not an Anbu anymore, asked Kakashi looking at the boy. I don't hate you, Kakashi, but certainly I don't like you. Is more like I just don't know you, said the boy while looking towards a lake. It kind of hurts to know that the one you saw like a little brother hates the village you love, said Kakashi, taking a sighting in the ground. Don't give me that crap, Kakashi. If you really felt bad you could have tried to take me as your brother. You know what is the difference between you and Itachi and Nii-san? When stopped that night to save me he didn't give me food and left, he took me with him and cared for me, always being there when my nightmares got worse. Kakashi's eyes widened. But he is just a murderer. Naruto, you don't know why Itachi left the village that night, right? I was because he murdered all the Uchiha clan. The only survivor is his brother Sasuke. Naruto interrupted Kakashi, bullshit. And if he did murder his own family it was for some reason. I've been years by his side to know he is not a serial killer who enjoys blood like Zabuza. How are you so sure, Naruto? Because serial killers doesn't have nightmares. This took Kakashi by surprise. Regret was not something a simple maniac would feel. Remorse was not a feeling that belonged to those that enjoyed killing. Kiri decided to interrupt. Naruto-sama, I would like to teach you about Fuinjutsu if you would let me. I have experience in most of the Uzumaki clan seals. The only seals I can't use are the most advanced that were only for Uzumaki's members to use, but I do have the scrolls heavily guarded and hide back in my home. I will give them to you when I go back to Kuni. Naruto nodded and stood up. I know that you don't like me that much, but let me try to make amends, Naruto. I want to teach you how to infuse elemental chakra to the Rasengan, said Kakashi with hope in his eyes. Kakashi, I will say this only once. Nothing you do will make me change my mind. I will destroy Konoha when the time comes, but I will give you one chance to redeem yourself. Kakashi nodded. Kakashi was about to talk again, but an explosion caught their attention and made them rush back to the house only to find two persons in the middle of battle. Byakuya, I will kill you. Cliffhanger again. Byakuya, I will kill you. What's happening here? Asked Naruto, arriving with Kakashi and Kiri. Sasuke was knocked out with a big bump in his head and a perverted grin. This stuck, but he touched. Fu started to flush just thinking what had happened. I feel so dirty. Fu started to run inside the house crying. Haku just sighed and looked at Naruto. What happened was... X flashback X. Come on Haku, I know you can do better than that, your aim is pretty good. Fu and Haku were sparring while certain Uchiha was training near the house. What is that? Asked Sasuke to himself and went to check the training duo. He got up of a tree to see better and get out of their way when suddenly Haku kicked Fu so hard that she slammed against the same tree where Sasuke was, making him fail on top of Fu. Face first. And well, he landed in something soft, said Sasuke, moving his hand to the pillow that stopped his fall. The very soft. He gave a squish to the pillow and then looked at it. Fu was clenching her fist at that moment that she would kill him. She would destroy every part of his body. Green chakra started pumping into her fists and looked at Sasuke, who was still gripping her melons. Sasuke looked to Fu and squashed once more. To tell the truth, it was the first time he touched a female body and he didn't know what the hell to do. He was actually so lost in thoughts that he never saw the punch coming to him, knocking him out. X end of flashback X. That he just didn't want to let her go. He is such a pervert, frowned Haku while turning her head upwards in an indignant way. Kakashi inspected him and deduced that it would take him at least an hour or two to wake up. He looked up to see Sakura and saw her touch her own. Well, the lack of them, while Kiba was laughing his butt out. Just at that moment Itachi arrived to see the scene. He looked at Naruto, who just shrugged as if nothing was wrong with them being there. Itachi nodded and went to the house. Kakashi looked at him with distrust but then remembered that he wanted to talk with Tazuna. Tazuna-san, is good to see you well. I would like to apologize for the foolish act of my team when we were supposed to help you. Kakashi bowed down to Tazuna in an apologetic way. Never mind, they were totally fair when they gave up on the mission, but let me tell you that for that reason I'm not going to pay anything to Konoha at all. After all, you guys left me to die, not even trying to protect me from bandits. While it is true that there were some ninja who attacked me, there would have been bandits too. Tazuna just scratched the back of his head. Just don't expect to be treated like royalty. It was Naruto-sama who decided to help us without pay, and just as your genin had their monetary reasons to not take the mission further, in the same way I have my reasons to not let you take the mission again, but we will negotiate with fire, wind, and tea countries. Tazuna entered his house to get some rest and food before he had to go back to the bridge with his next guard. Kakashi only sighed and went to his team. While it was true they wouldn't be doing anything, Kakashi still had some honor to take back, and he needed to teach something good to Naruto if he wanted to start making amends. Sakura started to heal Sasuke, mumbling something about bigger BRSs and weirdos trying to steal her Sasuke. Hinata appeared through the door looking for Naruto. She saw him next to Kiri and went to hug him and kiss him. Everything is ready. If you are hungry you can come now before it gets cold. She gave him a smile and he nodded. This didn't went unnoticed for Kiba, who got jealous to see Hinata kiss the dope. He didn't hated Naruto and he never treated him bad at all. But he also had a crush on Hinata since they were 6 years old, and he couldn't forget when he got news of her being kidnapped. "Hey Hinata-chan, wanna see my new moves?" asked Kiba, trying to get some attention to himself. "Oh hey Inuzuka-san. That was like a backstab. Did you say something?" Now that broke his spirits. Hinata had been so focused on Naruto that she only heard mumblings when Kiba said something to her. He couldn't finish as Hinata was already dragging Naruto away. "Come on Naruto-kun, the food will get cold if we don't hurry, and I made your favorite." Naruto carried Hinata at hearing that. "Ramen. Yay." And both of them disappeared, leaving Kiba there just looking to the door. 5 days later. Hinata had finished training with her chains and was now resting looking at Naruto and Kakashi train. "Hey Hina-chan," called her Kiba, "what are you doing?" "I'm watching Naruto train with Hataki-san," smiled Hinata. That dope is just wasting sensei's time. He wouldn't master anything even if his life was on the line, right?" "Huh," mocked Kiba, sitting beside Hinata and passing his arm behind her shoulder. Just as he was going to hug her, Hinata stood up. "Inuzuka-san. If you ever say something like that about my boyfriend, I will kill you, got it? Naruto is 10 times better than you. Oh, and before I forget, don't ever call me Hina-chan again. Only Naruto-kun can call me that, got it?" She then started walking away. Kiba was just speechless at this. Hinata used to be a shy girl and he liked her because she always looked like she would do everything her male would do. Oh yeah, Kiba definitely liked a girl he could boss around, someone that would never say no to him. So this new Hinata was something he didn't expect. Sakura had seen all of this and went to Kiba. "Hey, don't worry, if she doesn't like you, is her lost, right? You just need to move on." Kiba looked at her and just snorted. "Yeah, right, that coming from you is actually refreshing." He got up and walked away. "What is his problem?" mumbled an angry Sakura, and then something black caught her eye. "Sasuke can wait." Naruto stopped the training, and DMN it was hard to try and control elemental chakra. Hinata quickly got him a drink. "You did good Naruto-kun, but you should try and concentrate less chakra. When you are training sometimes your chakra mix and that's what makes it harder. Try to concentrate more wind chakra and less neutral chakra." Naruto nodded, hearing Hinata's advices. "Thanks Hina-chan, I will try that." Naruto concentrated again, but this time following Hinata's advice. Soon he started to create a Rasengan, but instead of using neutral chakra it was wind chakra. Is not the Rasen Shuriken yet. Think of it as only adding the element but is not fully developed. "Good job Naruto-kun," cheered Hinata. Naruto used it in a tree and the outcome was astounding. Wow, that was totally awesome. The tree had been blown away from the roots and the only remnants were some trunks and leaves of the now destroyed tree. "Let's get some rest Naruto-kun." Hinata attached herself to Naruto's right arm and walked away. XX at the bridge XX. "Well, this is certainly a big help. Thanks to Naruto-sama, we will finish this bridge in no time," he said, looking at the 300 clones helping with everything. "How long will it take you to finish the bridge?" asked Zabuza, who was sitting in the edge of the bridge. "At this rate I say 2 more weeks, Zabuza nodded. "X with Haku X. You know what? You are getting on my nerves," said an annoyed Haku to Sasuke. After he had seen how strong she was, he quickly decided that Haku would be a fine woman to be the mother of his childs. "I'm from the Uchiha clan, you know? There are lots of girls dying to receive this kind of attention," said Sasuke, smirking. If had been paying attention he would have seen Itachi sneaking out of the house and going to the bridge. The reason they had not fought was because Itachi always sneaked behind Sasuke's back, something that was too easy for him, or Sasuke was always unconscious, but he had never seen Itachi. "I don't care if you are the king of the emos, you are a pest, that is for sure, and why don't you just give this attention to that Pinky who looks like she is dying for it? I'm not interested in you and never will I." Haku started retreating to the woods, trying to find Hinata and parry with her. Maybe that would make him go away. "You know you want it, so stop playing around and just say you will be my wife. It would make your life easier," said Sasuke with an arrogant grin. "You know what, I'm tired of you," Haku then whistled. "X at the bridge X." And then Zabuza was telling Tazuna and story when something caught his ear. A whistle, but not just any whistle. "Haku!" Zabuza got up and made a water clone. "He will protect you until I come back or the next guard comes, okay?" Tazuna nodded and saw him dash like a madman. "What was that?" asked Sasuke, confused by this. Oh, you will see, and you just an advice, start running for your life, answered Haku, smiling sweetly at him. Why? Just as he was going to say something, a big sword almost cut his head off. What the hell are you doing to my Haku-chan be? Asked Zabuza with a madman grin. Nothing, sir, I was just... He couldn't say anything more as Zabuza used one of the holes in the Kubikura Bocho. Haku doesn't whistle just for fun, you know. There is only one reason she would ever do it. Zabuza got closer to the boy until they were face to face. Do you know what is that reason? No, sir. Sasuke gulped. Haku was trying so hard to not laugh, but it was impossible. The Uchiha had already wet his pants. Well, I do know that, and the reason is because there is a pervert annoying her. Do you know how do I deal with those perverts? Asked Zabuza once again to the boy. Sasuke didn't want to answer that, but he knew he would be in deeper shit if he didn't. No, sir. I take the legs so they can't run, then the arms to make them scream, and so on until they can't anymore. Zabuza started laughing like a madman. Sasuke couldn't take it anymore and started to run for his life. Yes, run. Make it more entertaining for me. Ha ha ha. Zabuza then started to run after the boy. Haku couldn't take it anymore and started to laugh, rolling in the floor. Naruto and Hinata saw her laughing and asked her what happened. Well, you see, Sasuke was trying to hit on me, and let's just say that San is not too fond of people who bothers me. The Sangenins joined Haku, laughing at the image of Sasuke running away from Zabuza. After a while they stopped laughing. So how is your training going, guys? I've been practicing elemental chakra and seals. It was hard at first and Fuinjutsu was boring like hell, but I'm getting the hang of it. Actually, I have a gift for Zabuza, but I will try it later. Haku nodded and looked at Hinata. I have been training with my chains and water chakra. I can already use them into my own style and the Juken, said Hinata with a smile. Haku went and hugged Hinata. The two had become good friends after declaring war with Sakura when she mocked Haku's sense of fashion. X flashback X. You call that feminine? You look like a boy, right, Hinata? Sakura started laughing at Haku, but Hinata just shook her head. I think it looks good on you, Haku-chan. It is useful too in battle as it doesn't get on the way, said Hinata, complimenting Haku's hair. You must be kidding, Hinata. Her hair is horrible, yelled Sakura. Well, excuse me, princess, but not everyone has the luck to be astounding like you, said Haku in a sarcastic way. Sakura started using her only way to communicate with others to make them see things her way. She yelled. Haku and Hinata decided to ignore her and started walking away. Hinata-chan, I love your hair when you are using your chains. Is so pretty, complimented Haku. Thank you, Haku-chan, is a memento from Naruto's mother. And just like that they left Sakura there yelling to the trees. X flashback and X. After that they had become good friends. Haku, Hinata and Fu were always training together. Hey guys, come on, the food is getting cold, yelled Fu from the house, and the girls plus Naruto started running towards her. Fu-chan, I think is your turn to guard Tazuna-san, right? Fu nodded and went into the house to eat. 2 weeks later. Days went by and the bridge was almost done, but they had not seen Gato in all this time. That was until... Come on, Tazuna-san, we need to finish just the last part and everything will be ready, said Naruto, who was guarding Tazuna. Right, Nurse-sama, thanks for your help. It was thanks to you and your clones that we finished this bridge, bowed Tazuna. And is a shame it is going down right now, yelled a gnome at the distance with a bunch of men around him. That doesn't sound good. Gato, yelled Tazuna. You had been a nuisance for my plans all this time, Tazuna, but no more, yelled Gato. So this little gnome is Gato? Wow, he doesn't inspire that much respect, right? Some of the thugs that heard him just nodded and Gato got mad at this. Watch your mouth, brat. Come on, men, kill him. The thugs charged against Naruto and Tazuna. Now your bridge and your home will be destroyed. Ha ha, cough cough. Gato started laughing like a madman. Naruto's sweat dropped and created an army of shadow clones to charge against the mercenaries. I don't think that's gonna happen. Gato looked to the new voice behind him and say a little boy with all the villagers at his side, farmers, lumberjacks, even some random babies with wipes and Lego torches in their mother's arms were against Gato. What happened to my men? Asked a furious Gato. Oh, they are being taken care of, Gato growled and charged against Tazuna. And the epic battle had begun. Try this. Bitch slap, Gato attacked Tazuna but the bridge builder dodged easily mostly because the gnome couldn't reach his face. Is that all you can do? Nutcracker, Tazuna delivered a kick to Gato's jewels. Naruto saw this and just shook his head. I guess I better finish this. Vermilion Rasengan. Naruto slammed one of his new version of the Rasengan into Gato. The mercenaries saw this and decided to run for their lives. Itachi landed next to Naruto. He had been hiding from Sasuke the whole time. Well, that was unexpected, but the bridge is finished and Gato is dead, said Itachi walking to Gato's body. He was about to take off his head when Kakashi beat him to it and sealed it in a scroll. Looks like you still need training, Itachi. I will take Gato's head as it is our mission to kill him. With this we can at least say it was a successful mission. With that, Kakashi disappeared before Itachi could do anything. That DMNBSTRD, he stole our kill, yelled Naruto. Well, it doesn't matter, we have the body. Itachi sealed the body and sent it via Crow to the Kazekage. Now we need to finish some business here, like for example going to Whirlpool. Naruto nodded and turned to Tazuna. Let's go home, old man, we have some plannings to do. And that is all, guys. Hope you liked this one. Now I know it was a bit of a crack, but I hope it serves those who were trying to spoil themselves and some of you in the process. Team Kakashi were already in Konoha. I can't believe that the dobe is getting better. I need to train more, said Kiba. He is just lucky because his brother helped him train when he was a child, Sakura said to Kiba, but got Sasuke's attention for the first time in his life. What brother? He is an orphan. Sasuke was confused by this information. Well, you know that brother of his. He was with us in Wave all the time. What was his name again? Sakura put a finger under her chin trying to remember Itachi's name and look cute for Sasuke at the same time. Itachi Uchiha, interrupted Kakashi. His name is Itachi Uchiha. Sasuke's eyes widened at this. What? You mean that Itachi was there the whole month and I never noticed? Well, you were either unconscious or brooding, or running away from Zabuza each time you tried to get close to Haku-chan, or you are just plain stupid, answered Kakashi, taking out his book and walking away. "NIT," yelled Sasuke to the sky. Naruto's team arrived to Zuna's house after the grueling battle. Did you see the way I fought? Man, I'm so proud of myself. I can't believe I actually faced Gato and won, exclaimed Tazuna, showing a toothy grin. Naruto's sweat dropped and Itachi only shook his head. Yeah, old man, you should be proud of yourself. By the way, that was pretty cool, boy. You should be proud of yourself. Is not every day when a kid moves a whole town into a fight. Naruto patted the boy. I'm not boy. My name is Inari. And it's because of you that I decided to stop crying and start doing something. Inari smiled at Naruto. How come? Asked Naruto. I heard you talking to my grandpa about your childhood and I couldn't believe you went through shit and still wanted to fight. I lost my father but I gave up before even trying, said Inari looking down. Tazuna put a comforting hand on his shoulder. But you are going to change that, right, Inari? Asked Tazuna, proud of his grandson. Yeah. I want to be like Naruto and Ichan. Naruto looked at him and smiled. You will need to train a lot then. Inari nodded, accepting the challenge. Okay, now let's get back to business to rebuild Yuzu no Kuni, said Naruto. Tazuna and Kiri's eyes went wide. You mean you are going to rebuild the city? Asked Kiri with hope. No. Kiri's hope fell to the ground. That I'm going to rebuild all the country, including some parts of the island, not just the city. Naruto-sama, most of the refugees would be excited to hear these news, said Aikido with joy. Then tell them they can help. After all, is going to be our home again, right? Is only fair that everyone helps. Kiri nodded, agreeing with Naruto. Kiri and Aikido, I want you to go back to you and tell all the refugees my story. Tell them what I am and what I want to become. Tell them that I want to rebuild our home to its former glory and more. Tell them about the hell I had to live in Konoha and how they treated their hero. I want to know who wants to go back home, even knowing what kind of man will protect them. Kiri didn't know what to say. He thought that Naruto would want to hide the fact that he had the 9 tails inside of him, but he could see the reason why Naruto decided to tell everyone. It was because he wanted people to accept him just like he is. As you wish, Naruto-sama, but we will depart after we go to Whirlpool along with you. It's been a while since we saw our home. Naruto nodded at this. Okay then, Tazuna. Naruto was going to ask him if he had some photos of Whirlpool country when Tazuna interrupted. Say no more, kid. I already have 50 men waiting for orders. We will make it as beautiful as it was and even more. Tazuna was already taking an album and making plans in his head. Naruto was about to argue with the man. He didn't want to get the job done for free and Wave still had to recover from Gato, but Tazuna interrupted again. Oh no. Don't say another word, boy. I know you want to say how amazing I am, but you can save it for when everything is finished. Anyway, it is going to take around 7 years to get everything done. Naruto wanted to say something again when Kiri interrupted him. Don't worry, Tazuna-san. After I tell the news to the other clans that lived under the Uzumaki's protection, I'm sure we will get more people to help. Even some citizens that were only part of the civilian populace would love to help. If I have to make numbers, I would say that around 400 or so will be helping. Tazuna's eyes widened at the number. That's some pretty big numbers. Then Akito spoke. We are friends with Shimo's current daimyo and he owed some favors to the last Uzukage and the daimyo of Yuzu no Kuni. If we can speak with him, maybe we can get around 200 more. After all, I know he wants to recover his honor for failing to repay the Uzukage in time. Tazuna couldn't believe his ears. That would make around 600 men. With that much we will have Yuzu no Kuni standing in about 3.5 years. Tazuna then looked at Naruto. I will tell the men to move in 15 days, and we will start working on the cleaning and some repairings of the buildings that can be repaired. I think that would save us some materials, and talking about materials, I think I know the perfect way to get them for free. After all, Gato died but left an astounding wealth. I know is not exactly the cleanest money, but we are going to use it for the people and not for us. Naruto had already lost if he was going to argue. Is okay, that money will be well used for the people who is going to live there. Besides, I'm going to earn some too with some hunting. Maybe I will go for some missing neens and I will help you guys once I start making the money, okay? Tazuna nodded in agree at Naruto. I will make sure that Naruto-kun helps you guys whenever it's needed. I wouldn't want him to just walk in the country claiming royalty when he didn't even lifted a finger, said Hinata, hugging Naruto, who just smiled. Well, now that we sorted this out, I'm going to sleep, said Naruto, getting interrupted again. Wait, Nisa, there is something I would like to discuss with you outside, said Kiri. Naruto nodded and took Hinata's hand as a signal for her to follow him. She nodded and the three of them walked outside. Is about your training with Fuinjutsu. If I'm going to be out, then who is going to teach you? Asked Kiri. Don't worry about that. Once we finish some things in Suno, we were going to join you guys, so I thought it wouldn't matter if I just read some books, answered Naruto. I see. Well, that's okay then, as long as you don't forget your training. Kiri nodded and was about to say something when Naruto beat him to it. Say, Kiri, I was thinking. What is a seal? Asked Naruto. I thought we already had this class. Fuinjutsu is the art to pour chakra into a specific logarithm, more specific a seal. Kiri was confused by this. Naruto was not one to forget a class. You would say that is like some kind of link between a chakra source and the output, right? Kiri raised a brow in confusion. Naruto-kun, I didn't know you could use big words, said Hinata, giggling, embarrassing Naruto. I'm not stupid, my love. I used to be a dead last, but that doesn't mean I was an idiot, said Naruto, avoiding their gazes. Hinata blushed furiously when Naruto called her my love. Something inside her was making her feel warm and fuzzy. Naruto, however, noticed the blush in her girlfriend's cheeks and grinned. Well, whatever, I was thinking. How do you tell the output what you wanted to do? Asked Naruto to Kiri. Well, you need to write a formula and then write the name for the seal. Then you write a circuit for the seal with the parameters. Naruto raised his hand at this and held his head with the other hand. You are making my head hurt. It's true that you write the formula, but that actually was just bullcrap. It was a way hide the true way for create a seal, said Naruto, surprising Kiri. What? But that can't. How did you reach this conclusion? Kiri didn't know what to make of the boy. Well, I was thinking about the very basis of the seal and then I remembered the seal of the QB. After some time I started thinking something. What if I put the name of the QB in the seal? And then I started thinking about it again. Kiri was curious at what Naruto could probably mean. Look, the seal is a prison, but if you read well. Naruto showed him the seal in his belly. It says, bound to heaven, but I don't know why is upside down, and at the same time there is the word Shinigami in the left side, and the word QB in the right side. Is more than obvious that everything is upside down. explained Naruto, showing them that at the corner of the seal there were actually the names of the bound and the prisoner. Wait, are you trying to tell me that the seal is actually not only a prison, but is also a summoning seal? Kiri was stunned by this. No, is not, is more like some kind of reverse summon because this gate is upside down, and there was one similar in Kyuubi's cage, but then again, a door is not only to let something in, right? Naruto bit his thumb and started writing with his blood on his belly in the lowest part of the seal. Now I only need to write the name of the summon. He wrote Kurama in the same side where the word Kyuubi was, but in the lower part, and the name of the contractor, the name of the one who will give permission to the real jailer to let the prisoner out. Naruto wrote his name at the same way he did with Kurama, but this time in the other side. Now if you see this seal requires an even number, the names upside followed the rule, but if someone added an odd number it would mess the seal and probably my chakra. That's why I'm adding another even number in the seal. Naruto was going to continue but was stopped by Kiri. Wait, you mean that you are not the jailer? Then who is the real jailer? And how did you figure all this out? Asked Kiri while rubbing his head. This is giving me a headache. I'm not the only one then. Whatever the real jailer is, obviously the Shinigami itself, and I'm the jail. Now every jail has a door, so the only thing I need to do is show the prisoner where is it. Also, when you let a prisoner out, say for example, to an activity, you set the amount of time that he will allow to be out, and that works like a restriction, right? By now Kiri was holding his head with both hands and Hinata was sitting near a tree writing everything she could understand. This time, instead of a time restriction, I will set a chakra restriction. I can't let the Kyuubi out at full power because he is still bound to me, but I can let him out with a set amount of chakra and let him out whenever I want for as long as I want. Naruto took a scroll out and asked Hinata draw an exact copy of the seal. Hinata complied and started working on it. Once she finished, Naruto took a look at it. Somehow he had forgot to tell Hinata to draw it like a mirror of the one he had, but she had listened and somehow understood that maybe it had to be done like it was mean to be the exit of the door. She thought that when you look at the door from inside and the outside it is completely different, kind of like a mirror. Cool. Thanks, love. Naruto kisses Hinata's cheek, who in turn blushed furiously again by the way Naruto called her. Now if I have to guess, the amount of chakra for a summon is the equivalent to its power, so I have to use a lot of chakra, but first I need to do something. Naruto closed his eyes and went into his mindscape. Hey Kuri-chan, can you give me your seal's commands? As if, for example, you were a summon. Kurama growled at the boy and started complaining for the nickname. Don't ever call me that, brat. The only one that can call me that is your mate. Now the command to summon a fox is boar, dog, bird, tiger, fox. But I think I know what you are trying to do. Change the command and use dragon instead of tiger. Naruto nodded at this and then got out of the mindscape. Okay, now I have the command and... Naruto was about to proceed with his little experiment when Kiri interrupted him. Wait, aren't you supposed to sign a contract to summon? Asked Kiri, confused by Naruto's actions. Usually yes, but you must know that Kyuubi is not a summon. He is the king of all bijus. Besides, I do have the contract, is right on my belly and is guarded by the Shinigami itself. Kiri nodded as if understanding what Naruto had said. Now I only need to follow the command, boar, dog, bird, dragon, fox. Naruto created a Rasengan in one hand after the hand signs were finished, Kuchios no Jutsu. Suddenly the seal on the scroll started to glow and red chakra started to flow in the air. Red smoke covered the area. Did it work? Asked Naruto, more to himself than to anyone. Naruto-sama, what was the goal of this experiment of you? Asked Kiri, who was waving his hand trying to disperse the smoke around him. I was trying to summon a very good friend of mine, but... Naruto couldn't finish when someone tackled him to the ground. And it worked. Wahoo! And it worked. Woo! Kurama was liking Naruto's face. We are not telling anyone about this little display, got it? Naruto nodded and took a good look at Kurama. Kurama went to Hinata and tackled her into the ground, liking her face. Hina-chan. Hinata laughed and started scratching Kurama's ear. Kurama, did you notice that you shrinked? Naruto pointed at the fact that Kurama was just the same size of a dog. Yeah, is because you suppressed most of my chakra, but still I have the chakra of 4 Kages. Naruto was surprised at this. You look like a kid, Kuri-chan, said Hinata, scratching under his chin. Kurama then noticed that with his size a little henge wouldn't hurt. Henge. Kurama changed into a younger version of himself. Look for the time when he was a little kid and Rikudo Sannin was still alive. Kiri was surprised by the actions of the king of Bijus, but he knew that Naruto trusts Kurama and he was fine with it. Naruto-sama, we are going to depart tomorrow at first hour, is that acceptable for you? Naruto nodded at Kiri's question and turned at Kurama. Let's go to sleep, we have a big day waiting for us tomorrow. Naruto and company headed inside the house to see that it was empty. The battle had tired them out. Even if it was an easy battle, Fu was tired because she had been training with Haku. Everyone headed to their rooms and Kurama decided to save space and sleep inside his seal. I'll see you tomorrow, kits. Don't mate all night or you are going to wake up the others. Kurama disappeared into his seal, leaving a very flushed Naruto and a fainted Hinata. Nen you Kurama, yelled Naruto and carried Hinata to their room. Naruto took the chance to take a shower while Hinata was unconscious. After a while Hinata woke up and noticed that Naruto wasn't in the room. She heard the shower and decided to change clothes before Naruto got out. Naruto had finished and when he opened the bathroom's door he noticed Hinata wearing only her panties and changing into her pajamas, one of his shirts, with her back turned to him. She noticed the sound of the door and covered herself with Naruto's shirt. She took a look at Naruto and noticed he was wearing nothing but his shorts and a towel in his head. Ano and Naruto-kun. Hinata started stuttering. Naruto smirked and went to hug Hinata. Sorry I didn't know you were awake, but you are beautiful, you know that? Naruto kissed the top of her head. Hinata turned and hugged Naruto with one hand while the other ran through his chest. You look well without a shirt too. Naruto chuckled and carried her to the bed. Hinata snuggled and giggled. She turned her head up and kissed Naruto on the lips. Naruto kissed her back and slid a hand under her shirt, his shirt, and stroked her stomach. Hinata shivered at his touch and put a hand on his arm. Naruto-kun, we can't. Naruto kissed her again and stopped his actions. I know, I won't do anything you don't want to do, besides we are still kids. Naruto bit her neck and left a mark. Now everyone can see that you are mine. Hinata nodded and did the same. And you are mine, Naruto. They stayed like that kissing each other until they fell asleep. The next morning Naruto and company were already awake and Fu was annoying Hinata like always. So you guys were just sleeping? Yeah, right, as if I would believe that when I found you with nothing but his shirt on. Fu hugged Hinata and her cheeks against hers. I was wearing my underwear. It's just. The shirt was bigger and. Hinata tried to defend herself. Yeah, sure, that whatever you say. They went outside the house to wait for the guys to finish packing. Naruto had finished and was now walking to the door when he remembered he had not introduced Kurama to the rest. He went to Hinata and asked her to call everyone. After the rest was outside the house, everyone was curious as to what were the big news. Okay everyone, I want to introduce you to one of my best friends. He has been with me since my birthday and… Naruto, you big pervert, that thing is only for Hinata to know. Interrupted Fu, blushing furiously. What are you talking about? Hinata already knows him very well, right love? Naruto asked Hinata, who just blushed at the two-sided meaning of the discussion. Fu looked at Hinata, who moments ago was swearing that they had not done anything M-rated. Fu, stop interrupting and let me finish. Whatever, as I was saying, I would like you to meet. Naruto put a hand on his pocket to get the scroll. Fu covered her eyes but left a space of her eyes open to take a peck of whatever he was going to show. Naruto made some hand signs. Kukyus no Jutsu. Red smoke covered the area. The king of the Bijou, the most powerful, the most handsome. Kurama. Kurama appeared and fireworks went showing his name. Hey Kurama. This written introduction is stupid. What are you talking about? And you skipped the God of Flames part and the awesome part. From this moment Kurama will appear with the henge casted, so you will have to picture him like a kid. Naruto and Kurama started a quarrel while the others, except Hinata and Kiri, looked with surprise at the sight of the most powerful being in the whole world fighting with a kid. Naruto, would you mind telling us what happened? It looks like Hinata and Kiri are already aware of this, asked Itachi. Naruto started explaining how he came to the conclusion that his seal was also a contract to summon the Kyuubi. See the previous chapter for more reference. Warning. You may experience some light headache, you have been warned. Well, is actually cool. I would like to have Kabuto-chan with me all time too. said Fu while scratching Kurama's ears. What is it with human females and my ears? What part of King of the Bijou can't you understand? Show some respect, minute, yelled Kurama at Fu, who just laughed. Sorry, but you are just so fluffy. Fu hugged him. Right? He is just the cutest thing in the whole world. Hinata ran to Kurama and hugged him too. Hey! Show me some respect, minute. Kurama was ignored. Well then, if this was everything you needed to show us, then let's go, said Itachi. And with that they left Tazuna's house and headed towards Whirlpool. Konoha 5 hours later. Look is her. Yeah, what a where. I don't know how can the Hokage let her live in our beloved village, were some of the whispers in the streets. Now usually they would be directed towards the demon child, but since he left with the traitor all the attention now focused on her. Oh boy, they just picked the wrong person to annoy in the village. Thought sometimes she wished she could leave the Demed place just like the brat and the princess, but she just couldn't. No, she owed the old man too much for her to turn her back on him. The Hokage had saved her from Orochimaru and the villagers after he found the hidden labs in Konoha. Enko-chan, what are you doing? Asked her friend, beautiful long hair and fiery red eyes. Oh sorry Kurina-chan, I just spaced out. Anko looked down but then remembered she still had something to take care of. What are you looking at, maggots? Don't you see a circus or something? The villagers quickly scattered. Now that is the Anko I know, Kurenai smiled at this. Anko nodded and grinned at Kurenai, but she knew that the old man wouldn't be around for too long, and that day she would leave the Demed village, with those stupid people who couldn't tell the difference between a victim and the victimizer. Whirlpool 2 hours later. Well, we are here, but man, this place looks totally destroyed. There are only a few buildings that survived, said Fu, looking around. Yeah, and still I was hoping something worse. Naruto then walked to one of the buildings that had some carvings. Hey, look at this. Everyone went to see the patterns that Naruto was pointing out. That is the house of the Uzukage. I have tried to enter, but all the place has a barrier and it looks like the only way to open it is a key, said Kiri. Lord Naruto, I have made some research and it seems that only the weapon of the Uzumaki heir can deactivate the seal, said Akito. Hinata took a look at the carvings and something called her attention. There were carvings that had almost the same shape that her chains. Wait a minute, I think I can. Hinata summoned her chains and placed them in the carving. It started spinning until the symbol of the whirlpool was complete. Remember that each time she summons her chains her hair turns red. Love, you are awesome. Naruto hugged her and gave her a kiss. Hinata smiled at this, but then got curious by something that moved besides the building. Hinata, what are you doing? Asked Fu, who was about to go inside of the building. Naruto saw that Hinata had moved to the side of the building and was following something. Come here, said Hinata, following the thing. There you are. She picked a little cat and started rubbing his head. Ikuto, where are you? Someone appeared around the corner. Ikuto, there you are, don't go scaring at me like you, the girl yelled at Hinata. Hinata quickly dropped the cat and ran away back to Naruto and the others. Wait, I just want to ask you something. The girl followed Hinata. Naruto saw his girlfriend running and went to check what happened. Hinata, why are you running? Hinata hid behind Naruto and the girl that followed her stopped running. Who are you and what are you trying to do to my Hinata? Asked Naruto, frowning at the girl. She however ignored him and just bowed down. Hinata-sama, I'm sorry for my rudeness before, but I wanted to know your name. I am Kyoko Nikoka, and I am one of the loyal servants to the Uzumaki clan. But why did you bow down to her? Asked Naruto. Because she is obviously a Uzumaki, said Kyoko with confusion in her eyes. Hinata-chan, if you like to have my last name that much you can tell me straight, you know? Hinata blushed at this. Naruto-kun, I didn't tell her my last name. She just took for granted that I was an Uzumaki. Hinata hid herself behind Naruto. Wait, are you trying to tell me that you are not an Uzumaki? If this boy is the Uzumaki, then why is his hair blonde? Asked Kyoko, confused by this. Join the club, Kyoko-chan, said Kiri, appearing right behind them. Kiri-chan, what are you doing here? What club? Asked Kyoko. Something caught Hinata's eyes again, but this time something above Kyoko's head, and she just couldn't resist. Naruto looked. Hinata walked to Kyoko and stretched her arm. So cute. Hinata couldn't contain herself and started stroking Kyoko's ears. Kyoko was about to argue, but she started feeling so dim and good. Is my family's bloodline. When we activate them we can grow ears and a tail just like cats, and it enhances our senses tenfold. Kiri took notice of Kyoko's tail. Yeah, and you just did it again. Kyoko snapped and got up. She was still on her nest. I'm sorry, item. So if I heard right, then this boy is the Uzumaki, but you didn't answer my question. My father was blonde, but my mother was Kushina Uzumaki, answered Naruto. Kyoko went and hugged Naruto, rubbing her bee in his face, much to Hinata's annoyance. Naruto-sama, I promised and I swear on my life to protect you always. Hinata snapped at Kyoko, hey, watch the hands. He is mine. Hinata took Naruto by force and rubbed his face on her melons, thought not as big as Kyoko's. Naruto was not complaining, we know she will develop more in the future. Oh, and who are you then? Asked Kyoko, confused by this. I'm his girlfriend and future wife, yelled an embarrassed Hinata. Is that true, Naruto-sama? Asked Kyoko at Naruto. You bet. She is the only one I would ever look at. She is the person I love the most, answered Naruto with a grin in his face. Okay then. Kyoko went and hugged Hinata, doing the same she had done with Naruto. Then I swear I will protect you too, Hinata-sama. Itachi appeared from inside the building and furrowed a brow in confusion. What are you doing? Naruto, I thought you wanted to see that place. Kyoko looked at the source of the voice and found the Uchiha looking at her. Dimin. He is so handsome. Cute. Dimin, I need to calm down. Okay, now don't freak out, just take it easy. That was the last thought she had before passing out. Do you think she got sick? Asked Naruto, looking at the smiling face of the sleeping Kyoko. Hinata already knew what happened. She used to do it every time after all. I don't think so, Naruto-kun. However, we should wait for her to wake, said Itachi, getting a bit closer to the sleeping girl who was already opening her eyes. What happened? She noticed the onyx orbs that were starting right into her green ones. You are awake. Kyoko blushed at Itachi's voice. Yes, well, may I ask your name? Kyoko was blushing madly. My name is Itachi. Itachi Uchiha. He got up and helped her to stand. Hinata saw the way Kyoko looked at Itachi, and Fu was about to get some fun with the newcomer when suddenly. My name is Kyoko Nikoka. And since the first moment I saw you I fell in love with you. Please let me be your wife and have your kitties, said Kyoko, bowing her head. Itachi was totally freaked out. After all, he had enough fangirls back in Konoha, and well, when a girl tries to take you into an alley and RP you, that's when you understand that some girls can get so messed up. Itachi didn't know what to say, he just wanted to get out of that uncomfortable situation. I know. I'm sorry, sometimes I just get carried away, but it's the first time I feel something like this, that's why I'll make you notice my strength and worth. Kyoko smirked at him. After all, I'm not a shitty fangirl. Itachi couldn't help but laugh. Okay, then give it your all, because I hate fangirls and big-mouthed girls. He smirked back at her and then walked out. Kiri decided to go and help Tazuna along with Akito to check out the other buildings. The bridge builder wanted to find one that wasn't too damaged. It would help shelter the people that would come with him later to start the repairs. Fu was totally freaked by this. She wanted to have fun messing with the new girl, but she just went straight at him and started making weird proposals. Our team just keeps getting weirder each time, said Fu. You mean since you joined, right? Asked Itachi, grinning. Hey, what do you mean by that? Itachi ran around the place while Fu was trying to hit him. Well, whatever guys, we need to check the ruins and Tazuna still needs to take a look at the other buildings. Naruto started walking away with Hinata. Wait, I would like to know more about you, Naruto-sama, said Kyoko, walking alongside Naruto. Well, what do you want to know? Asked Naruto. Kyoko's curiosity got the better of her and started asking question over question. Naruto's sweat dropped and answered each and every one. If you were born in Konoha, then why aren't you using a headband? Asked Fu. Naruto and Hinata frowned at the name of that village, the place where they had to live hell. I will show you what happened. Naruto then summoned Kurama, who had gone into the seal to sleep. Hey brat, why did you call me? Asked Kurama, stirring and scratching his right ear. Would you please show Kyoko-san here the reason we hate Konoha? Kurama nodded and put a tail in the freaked Kyoko. After all, foxes were from the canine family and she was from a feline family. The memories that went through her mind were frightening, and all of them were about the same person, a blonde kid being beaten to hell who didn't even know what he did wrong or why did he deserve to live through this. A little kid screaming for hours until he couldn't scream anymore, but still conscious, and worst of all, he couldn't die. The villagers wouldn't let him, and his healing abilities just pleased them even more. After all, he could heal after a good night of sleep to be pounded again next time. But the worst of all was that night, on his 7th birthday, being stabbed in the chest. The face of the woman that with a grin of achievement and madness pierced his chest while claiming victory over the demon. Kyoko's eyes filled with tears at the memories of the hell that this boy had to go through, and then the memories of a boy saving the kid and taking him out of the village. The face of Itachi Uchiha smiling to the boy on his 8th birthday. And then the memories of the girl that was always with him, the memories of a little girl being mistreated by her family, a father who would beat her with an inch of her life just because she didn't meet his expectations, a cousin that wanted her dead one way or another for something she had not fault, the face of the old bastards from a family that was so rotted just for the lust of power, a power they didn't have. The memories of a father trying to get rid of her own daughter just for the image and strength of his so-called family, and then the face of a boy who saved her from hell and took her with the one she loved the most. Itachi Uchiha was the one who had saved those childs from hell and gave them the hope they needed. I am the vessel of the Kyubi no Yuko Karama. My own father sealed him inside me with the wish that the village would see me as their hero for saving the village while containing the demon, but he couldn't foresee that the true demon was not the Kyubi but those he had died trying to save, said Naruto, clenching his fist. I was the heiress of my clan, believed to be weak because of my kindness and the treat I gave to the branch family, labeled as a failure by my own father who tried to kill me for not being worth to carry the name Hyuga. Hinata took Naruto's clenched fist and put it near her chest. There is nothing wrong with that sentence, that I guess. Kyoko wiped her tears and hugged them. I will never let anyone hurt you anymore, I swear it. Then she saw Itachi at the door and went to hug him. After what I saw, I'm totally sure, and I will do my best to make you notice me, Itachi-san. She gave him a kiss on the cheek, making him blush. Itachi saw that Hinata giggled at his behavior, making him feel even more embarrassed, so he decided to leave. After that, the guys went to check the building where the Uzukage used to live. There were a lot of scrolls with detailed information about the Uzumaki clan. Naruto sealed every scroll to read them later and went into another room that was sealed with the Uzumaki symbol. Naruto put a hand on it and the symbol started glowing. Naruto was surprised when the door opened because the room was intact, as if the seal had freezed everything inside on time. He went to the desk in the middle of the room and noticed a letter. To my daughter Kushina. Naruto took the letter and inspected it. It looks like Gramps couldn't send it before the battle. Naruto started reading the letter. My dear daughter, it's my pleasure to know that you are well and that you already found a friend in Konoha. I would love to see you soon, but my duty as Uzukage demands for me to stay here, as it is apparent that a war is about to strike and I need to protect our home. In case something happens to me, I will seal this room that contains every jutsu we possess and the sacred weapon that our family has protected since the founding of our village. It said that it has the power to create powerful storms with just a swing. I don't know if you will be able to use it as the weapon itself. Choose the one that has the right to wield it. Also, I hope that in the future my grandson or granddaughter will follow the steps of our clan. It is time for me to finish this letter. My daughter, I want you to know that I am proud of you. Naruto turned to the door and saw Itachi and Fu waiting for him. It looks like he wasn't planning to send this letter from the beginning, said Itachi. What do you mean, Itachi nii-san? Asked Naruto. Hinata proceeded to seal every scroll in the room. Fu decided to help while the guys had their talk. It seems that your grandfather knew about the attack and the fall of the Whirlpool. He must have sealed all this believing that her daughter would come right after the war. Itachi took one of the scroll and read the contents. For now I will take everything I can with me and train. I need to find the sacred weapon that my grandfather wanted to give to my mother. Naruto started searching for the scroll containing it. Hinata took a book in one of the shelves, and when she tried to pull it, the shelf opened, leaving a door. Wow, Hina-chan, you are really awesome. Naruto kissed her cheek and took her hand. They entered the new room followed by Itachi, Fu and Kyoko. What is that? Asked Fu, pointing at a scroll that was almost as big as Zabuza's sword. Must be it, Naruto, said Itachi. Naruto nodded and went to retrieve the scroll. He was about to take it when suddenly chakra began to flow from the seal. The scroll opened and revealed a katana. Naruto examined it as it was the first time he saw something like this. The handle was blue and had the shape of a whirlpool, but what caught his attention were the ancient runes in the blade. He had never seen those runes before, but somehow when he touched the handle it was like if he already knew what did they mean. Meanwhile, at the entrance of Yuzu no Kuni X. We need to check every building and make sure that no one will find any clue about what happened here. A man with an ANBU mask and a mark in the left side of it. After Naruto and Itachi disappeared, Danzo had started pushing Sarutobi to let him establish NA as an official branch of the military in Konoha. Sarutobi denied him the necessity of soldiers with special training, as Danzo put it. But after Hinata went missing too, the whole civilian council with Ran Haruno as the head and the help of Hayashi Hyuga, Tsum Inuzuka, and Inoichi Yamanaka. Choza and Shikaku were disappointed for his decision as they were against the idea of Danzo training childs to make them into Anbuna, but for Inoichi it was the perfect opportunity to make his daughter forget about Tsunade and start training seriously. Sarutobi was overwhelmed by the council and accepted Danzo's idea with the promise that he would check the progress periodically. "Hey Satori, it looks like we have some company," one of the Ambu pointed to a group that was leaving a building. "This doesn't look good. We need to kill them and bring whatever info they got from that place. I still can't understand why didn't Danzo-sama come before." Satori took a good look at the people coming out from the building. Because he couldn't send anyone out of the village without Hokage-sama knowing that NA was working already. Now we can come without a problem because we are officially a military force. But forget that, aren't those people the Kyuubi brat and the Uchiha traitor? He pointed to the last two persons that came out of the building. "You are right, and that means that the girl with blue hair is Hinata Hyuga. Lord Hayashi will be more than glad to have her daughter back. Come on Van, if we kill the brat and the traitor Uchiha, then Lord Danzo will pleased with our work. Maybe he will start sending us to real missions and not those puny chores." Van nodded and both of them went into the clearing where Naruto and the gang were. Naruto and company. "Hey Nai-san, if you get married with Kyoko, then which clan steps are your children's going to follow?" Naruto teased Itachi, who grunted at him. He was about to say something when Kyoko interrupted. "They would follow the ways of the Uchihas. My family is not as strict in this matter, mostly because we have a lot of members." "Do your clan let you get married with people from outside?" asked Hinata. "Yeah, but the real reason behind the numbers of my family is because, for some reason, most of the women in our clan have twins, triplets, or even more. For example, my aunt had quintuplets the first time she was PRGNT," answered Kyoko with a smile. Hinata, however, shivered at the thought of giving birth to 5 childs in a go. "Give your aunt my congratulations for her efforts at bringing 5 childs at the same time. It must be hard." Kyoko laughed at this. "Yeah, my uncle got a broken hand that day." Unknown to them, Itachi was already contemplating their little talk. "Stop. Kyuubi brat and Uchiha traitor, this is your last day alive. And for you Hyuga Hinata, your father will be pleased to have you back." 2 masked shinobis appeared from nowhere. "Who are you?" asked Naruto, already in combat stance. "My name is Van and my partner here is Satori, but enough talk, it's time for you to die." The ANBU charged against Naruto and Itachi. Kyoko was about to step into the fight when Itachi stopped her. Hinata struck Satori, who was about to hit Itachi. "Let them fight. They need to prove themselves now and see in a real fight if their training had worked." Kyoko nodded and stayed in her place. "I will be your opponent," said Hinata. "I will bring you back with me." Satori took some kunai from his pouch. Hinata prepared her fighting stance. "You will be the first person to ever see my first dance." Satori ignored her and quickly charged against Hinata, who just dodged with a spin, closing all the tenketsus on his arm with 2 fingers at the same time. "You beach! What did you do to me?" Satori was furious. He was a jounin. There was no way in hell that this little beach could have landed a hit. Hinata frowned and decided to go into offensive. She delivered a kick and Satori blocked it with his other arm. She spun again and attacked again with another kick. He tried to block again, but his right arm didn't move. Satori barely dodged and quickly distanced himself from Hinata. "Your attacks requires the opponent to be in the range of divination, but if I stay away from you then you can't." He couldn't finish as something hit him in the left leg. He wanted to move but it was useless. his leg was numb and didn't respond. He then noticed 2 chakra chains at Hinata's hands. What the hell? I can hit you even if you are not in my range of divination. Hinata then extended the right chain and hit Satori in the other leg, leaving him unable to move. Damn it. Just kill me already. Satori yelled at her. Hinata just shook her head and turned around to leave him there. You are not worth the mercy of the death, at least not by me. Satori used the remaining chakra on his right hand and threw a kunai at Hinata's back, but Kyoko catched it on mid-air and threw it back to Satori. The kunai struck him between the eyes, killing him instantly. I will never let anyone harm Hinata-sama. Kyoko then turned at Hinata. You shouldn't do that. Showing mercy will get you killed one day. But I don't want to kill anyone. Hinata hung her head and Kyoko patted her. But sometimes to protect yourself and the ones you love you will be forced to do it. Kyoko hugged Hinata. I will teach you how to deal with that later, okay? Hinata nodded and turned her attention to Naruto, who was fighting against Van. You will die here and now, QB brat. Van launched another attack, but Naruto quickly dodged and created 4 shadow clones. You are becoming annoying, you know? Besides, I'm not the QB. The clones launched a Rasengan barrage. Van used the replacement jutsu and got out of the way. Slow. A demon like you will never touch me. Enough with you. You want a demon, then here is your demon. Kuchios no jutsu. Naruto summoned Kurama. Hey brat, you brought me food? How nice of you. Anbu tried to run at the sight of the QB. Kurama saw him trying to run and started laughing. Ha! A living prey. Yes. Run and make it interesting. The Anbu ran into the forest while Kurama started counting the seconds since his prey had run. 20 seconds and time's up. Now time to die. Kurama ran into the forest and a few seconds later they heard a piercing scream from the direction where the Jounin had run. The scream didn't stop for a full minute. Kurama must be doing a number on him, said Naruto. After the scream was over, Kurama came back liking his fangs. That was a good meal. I haven't eaten something so good for a while. Hinata went and hugged Kurama. Kurijan, would you stop doing that when there is people around? You know how hard it is to maintain a reputation, right? Complained Kurama, but Hinata ignored him. Anyway, let's go find Tazuna. We need to go back to Wave and then we can depart to Suna, said Itachi. Kanoix. I don't want this. Please just make it stop. Please. A scream was heard from the quarters. Cliffhanger. I hope you like this chapter. It took me longer to update, but I promised 1 chapter per week, and here it is XD. Also, once again, thank you Creativity for the Nikoka clan. Naruto's team meet with Tazuna and Kiri, who had finished checking the buildings. Hey kid, how was the search on your side? Asked Tazuna. It was good. We found some documents from my family. I will take a look at them later, answered Naruto. How was your side of the search? Asked Hinata. Well, we found one building that was totally unscratched. It will help to shelter the people who will be coming to help with the repairs, but it needs some fixings here and there. Thought. Tazuna gave her a victory pose. Fu then noticed all the papers Tazuna was carrying. What is all that? Tazuna took the papers and showed them to her. Some of the ideas I got for the new city. Tazuna, I would like you to start with the civilian part of the city, okay? I have another idea for the shinobi part of the city. Tazuna nodded and then turned to Itachi. Well, I think it is better to go back to Wave. I still need to travel to Konoha and bribe the Hokage for what they did. Tazuna started laughing and went back to Wave after they settled everything. 3 hours later, Konoha's Team 7 was now facing a very angry Hokage and things didn't look good for anyone. It has come to my understanding that 2 of the genins that I sent to Wave with the job to kill Gato and the side job to protect Tazuna just took it to themselves to turn their backs on the mission without waiting for orders from the Jonin in charge. Now I will ask you, what was your reason for doing this? Asked the Hokage, trying to remain calm. Sakura got confident that her judgment has been correct and decided to speak first. Well, you see, Hokasama, the client lied to us and we ended facing missing means from Kiri. They were obviously out of our league. Besides, Sasuke-kun was severely injured. Oh yes, that was some good judgment, Sakura. But I think you are forgetting something, and that is the main mission. I ordered you to kill Gato regardless of the situation. Or let me ask you, did I say, you can come back if you think is too much for you? I didn't write. Sarutobi waited for Sakura to answer. She just shook her head, but Hokahima. The Hokage slammed his hand on the table. I gave you the order to kill Gato because I had already acknowledgement of what kind of man he was. I ordered you to go there and help the village because I already knew that we could benefit from a trading alliance. I sent you there because I knew Kakashi would kill anything that you guys couldn't handle. Did you really think I would send you to a mission that I knew you wouldn't complete? Hokage-sama, I was the first that suggested to quit the mission. It was my fault. Kiba tried to redirect the Hokage's anger towards him. What about you, Uchiha? What do you have to say to this? The old man asked the Uchiha. Sakura sighed with relief. If Sasuke talked to him, then the Hokage would just forget the whole thing and let them go home without a punishment. I wasn't aware of this, Hokage-sama, as I was unconscious when they pulled this shameless act. However, if I had known that they would do something like this, I would have go against them. After all, we are Konoha's shinobis, and turning our backs to a mission is not an option. The Hokage nodded at Sasuke. After all, the boy knew how to play his card to avoid being dragged down with his teammates. Sakura was speechless. She thought that her Sasuke-kun would come to her aid, but he decided to just save himself. Kakashi? What are your thoughts about this? Sarutobi took his pipe and waited for Kakashi's answer. I didn't know the full extent to the mission, but even after fighting to Zabuza, I was not going to quit the mission. I knew I could handle Zabuza by myself, but unfortunately other events got in the way of our fight and I ended using too much chakra. However, when I came back to my senses, those kids had already decided to take matters on their hands and quit the mission. We got back and tried to talk to Zuna on letting us retake the mission, but he had protection already, explained Kakashi. The Hokage had already seen Kakashi's report and it stated that some unexpected but enjoyable encounter had kept him from finishing the mission correctly. Sakura Haruno, you will be suspended from activities until the Chunin exams, and that is only if your sensei lets you take the exams, otherwise you will be suspended until further notice, and Kiba, you will share Sakura punishment. But seeing as you come from a renowned clan, I will take this matter to your mother for a more enjoyable punishment. Kiba paled at this. If his mom was going to take part on his punishment, then hell was going to look like paradise for him. Sakura, on the other hand, was on the verge of crying. Hokage-sama, please just let me redeem myself. I promise this will never happen again. Indeed, Haruno-san, this will never happen again. That is why I'm punishing you. But I will be lenient and let you have training with your team. However, you can't take part on any mission, is that clear? Sakura nodded and hung her head in shame. After the Hokage dismissed them, he asked Kakashi to stay. So will you explain to me the unexpected but enjoyable encounter? The Hokage took his pipe and let Kakashi start his story. Well, you see, Hokage-sama, when we were on the mission I found Naruto, but he was with Itachi, Uchiha, and Hinata Hyuga. Also, I sensed another two ninjas near the location. Kakashi's face showed sadness and the Hokage could see that something had happened. Why didn't you bring him with you? Asked Sarutobi. I tried, but he refused, and when I asked him why, he said that he was going to destroy this village one day. He said that he would never come back to this infernal place. I thought it was Itachi's fault at first, seeing how he is the traitor of this village. Naruto, however, told me that he knew why the village hated him and who were his parents. I tried to use that and told him that they would never want him to destroy their home, but he said he could care less what his father wanted. Sarutobi couldn't believe his ears. The one he saw like a grandson would destroy his village in the future? This should be some kind of sick prank, and it was not funny. After we returned to Tazuna's home, we spent a full month with them, but what caught my attention was that Itachi looked almost human when Naruto was around. He would even joke and laugh with him. What an hypocrite. Hinata had obtained some kind of power that let her use chakra chains. She looked almost like Kushina-sama except for her eyes. I tried to redeem myself with Naruto, and a week before we finished the mission I talked to him again. He told me that he had seen his parents. Apparently, they left some of their chakra on the seal just in case something happened. He told me that Kushina-sama agreed with his son to destroy the leaf, and Minato-sensei led a message for you, Hokage-sama. I'm disappointed, Sarubi. How could you let this happen to my son? Naruto told me that maybe someday in the future he would forgive his father, but he would never forgive the leaf for what they did. Also, it appears that there are people who survived the destruction of Uzushiogakure, and after learning about Naruto, they granted him his inheritance as the next ruler of the country. I wouldn't be surprised if they started rebuilding the country once again. It was just too much to take for the Hokage. He shrunk on his seat and just sighed heavily. Then I guess it's time for us to redeem ourselves, right, Kakashi? We will help Uzushiogakure to rise again just like they helped us on the past. If my guess is correct, then Tazuna will come here and complain for the shinobis who left him to die. I will talk with him about this and make him agree on an alliance to help him rebuild his country. After all, nobody needs to know that Wave was part of the Whirlpool, right? And seeing how Tazuna already knew of this for the way they accepted Naruto's help right away, then is safe to assume that he is the one that is going to rebuild Whirlpool. Kakashi nodded and stayed talking with the old man about Naruto and how he looked like his father. 2 hours later, Wave Country. Well, we need to get going, guys. We lost a lot of time getting everything ready, said Itachi. Naruto nodded and looked back at Kiri. You know what to do. We will catch you guys later. Also, I would like you to escort Tazuna to Konoha. After all, you still have things to do, right, old man? He asked Tazuna. Dean, right, you are kid. Anyway, we need a name for the bridge. Tazuna was going to say a random name when Inari ran to them with a stone sign and put it on the side of the bridge. Don't worry, Gramps. The bridge has already a name. I give you the Great Naruto Bridge. Inari gave big grin and Tazuna just laughed at this. Naruto had tears on his eyes. It's a beautiful name. Fu slapped his arm and frowned. That's because it is your name. He shrugged and just said, yeah, I know. Naruto and Ai-chan, I will become a shinobi one day just like you, and I will protect my precious people. Naruto smiled at Inari and ruffled his hair. That's what I like to hear, Inari. One day you will be stronger than you already are. After everyone gave their goodbyes, Naruto's team parted to Suna, and Kiri along with Akito and Tazuna departed to Konoha. 3 days later at Konoha. Shikamaru, have you seen Ino? Chuji. Actually, it has been a week since the last time I saw her, but I know that her father put her on the NA program, answered Shikamaru with some worry. We need to help her, Shikamaru. You know what NA do to their ninjas. I don't want that to happen to her. Chuji hung his head and Shikamaru patted his back. I know, Chuji, and I promise you that we will find a way to help her, but we need to be patient, okay? He reassured his friend, who just nodded and opened a new bag of his favorite chips. Meanwhile at Nex. She has great chakra control, Danzasama. We must proceed to the second stage. One of the ninja gave him a detailed report on the qualities of his new weapon. Very well, you can proceed. I don't care how long it takes you. You must eradicate all her emotions, understood? Danzo ordered the shinobi, who just bowed and proceeded to do his work. In a closed room, you could hear the screams of a girl being the subject of a test to increase chakra capacity and control. Please just stop. Make it stop. I beg you, please just kill me already, please. The girl couldn't take it anymore and fainted. Looks like level 2 was a bit too much, but it doesn't matter, she will get used to it, said the shinobi, finally uncovering his face and his gray hair. He took a pair of glasses from his pocket and put them on. I thought you had thrown them away a long time ago, Kabuto, asked Danzo. I have my reasons, but please don't be bothered by this. After all, my master sent me to help you. Kabuto Yakushi gave him a wicked smile. Take the girl back to her home and don't forget to put the fake memories before you take her back. We don't want her father to meddle with our efforts. Kabuto nodded and replaced the memories of the day with a new one, but he made a little change. He allowed her to remember and only her, and when Essie told her father, he wouldn't believe her, and he wouldn't discover anything because the seal will show him memories totally different. Oh yeah, he loved playing with her mind. Now let's get you ready, little doll. Meanwhile, it had been almost 2 weeks since he said she would never be adept on her adoptive family's style, and now he regretted it. Why would he regret something like that? Well, because she had shown to be more adept into the Amiya style than he gave her credit, and DMN, it hurt to be wrong. Secret style, Tsubain Geishi. 10-10 attacked 3 times in one single hit. Niji tried to block, but it was useless. After the first strike, the other 2 would always hit. Niji got up and tried to get near and use his 64 palms, but it was useless. She jumped out of the way. Trace on. She summoned a bow and what looked like an arrow, but this one was twisted as if it was a full spiral. She charged the arrow with her chakra, Kataraborg. Niji evaded and thought he was safe when suddenly all the place was covered by fire chakra, hitting him and sending him against a tree. He was about to get up again when Guy stopped the match. That's enough. 10-10, that was admirable. Truly amazing. I couldn't ask for more from the daughter of my good friend Shiro. And Niji, I hope this helps you to understand that destiny is not written on stone. You can make your own path with your own hand if you work hard enough. Guy gave him a nice guy pose. Niji got annoyed by this and decided to leave and train with his uncle. His teammates just couldn't understand that destiny was everything. Ten decided to go home and train more with his father. She still needed to figure out the array of seals that he gave her. Amiya Rin used to be a close friend with Kushina Uzumaki, and after her husband thought of a way to just summon his weapon, she asked Kushina for a seal that would let them use any weapon without carrying it on a seal. That's when they chose a field on the outside of the village and put all the weapons that her husband had collected on his travels. Some of them were legendary swords. He even collected 2 of the 7 swords from the legendary swordsman of Kirigakure. Kushina sealed all that place with the help of Minato, and put it on an alternate space. This would let Shiro summon every sword under his possession and keep adding more if he wanted with the help of the seal and a reversal summon seal on each weapon. After some years of working with the seal, he achieved his final move, Unlimited Blade Works, that would allow him to summon the whole field of swords on the immediate area, and what made this technique more lethal was that every sword was marked with a seal that would only allow the summoner to hold the sword. For now he was working on a way to pass this technique to his 2 daughters, but his first daughter told him that she was happy with being a Kenjutsu master. She could still call on whatever weapon she wanted at the moment, but she didn't have the chakra to call for his father's ultimate technique. However, Ten, his second daughter, adopted, had the chakra, but she was not his daughter by blood, and the worst of all, he was not a seal master as Kushina. He had modified the seals on the weapons. So she could summon them and reverse summon them, but the seal on the whole field was a lot more complex. Anyway, he was near to achieve his goal, but there were 2 things missing and he couldn't put his finger on it. Either way, he would never give up. 2 days after, Sunex. Kazekage-sama. Itachi Uchiha and his team are here to report, said the receptionist. Let them pass. After Itachi and Ko entered the room, they noticed a man sitting on one of the chairs. Kazekage-sama, I would like to report the success of the mission. However, we had problems with some Konoha shinobi who took Gato's head after I killed him. Even so, I brought the body with me if you desire to check for yourself that we accomplished our mission, said Itachi while standing straight. The Kazekage nodded and turned to the man on the chair. I told you they would do it without a problem. He turned at Itachi. This is the man who paid for the mission to kill Gato. The man introduced himself as Koichi Miki. I am a merchant who travels from place to place with my daughter, but after we arrived Land of Waves, he took her from me and did horrible things to her before he killed her. And you escaped after that to seek for the help of a shinobi village and get revenge. That is quite understandable, said Naruto, smiling sympathetically to the man. The man nodded and thanked them again. He was about to leave when Naruto stopped him. Wait, could I have a few words with you? I would like to make you a deal that you would hardly reject. The man thought for a moment and then nodded. He gave him the address of the place he was staying and then got out of there. I see that you brought some company with you. I don't remember sending 5 shinobis. Would you explain this, Itachi? Asked the Kazekage. Itachi explained everything that happened and why Zabuza ended traveling with them. Zabuza Momochi, truly one man to be feared, but tell me, why should I believe that you will stay loyal to the sand? Asked the Kazekage expectantly. Because I just happen to know the secret about this kid. He pointed Naruto. Let's said that as a demon I like getting along with other demons, and this kid asked me to be his teacher in exchange on his future help to regain certain things that belong to me. Okay then, seeing that you know the power on that kid, I will trust you, but one wrong move and I will have you killed, understood? Zabuza nodded. The receptionist called at the door. Kageyama, your son wants to see you. The Kazekage furrowed a brow. Let him pass. Gaara entered the room followed by another girl. She had golden brown hair and violet eyes. Her clothes were a bit ragged and it looked like she hadn't eaten for some days, and in her arms there was a baby. Father, I would like to report that after I was coming back to the village from the mission you sent me, I found this girl on the outskirts of our desert. I would have let her there, but she had a baby and I couldn't. Gaara showed something interesting to his father. He was blushing? There were some things that Gaara never did. These were smile and blush, but right now the second was happening as he took a look at the girl next to him. Is okay, Gaara? Okay, now, what is your name, young lady? And is your baby all right? Asked the Kazekage. The girl looked at the man and noticed the resemblance between him and the boy that saved him. My name is Danielle Windia. I came from the western side but some rouge bandits kidnapped me from home and tried to sell me like SLV. This baby is not mine. I'm only 12. He was with one of the women that was sold before I escaped. She asked me to save him. Everyone looked at the baby who had a better appearance to Danielle. He looked like he had been eating at least some decent meals. I did everything on my power to at least let him have something to eat. Everyone nodded and patted the girl saying she did a good job. Gaara, take your little friend to the hospital and see that she has everything she needs to make her comfortable. Gaara nodded at his father and took Danielle out with him. This would be a test for Gaara to show his father he could be as human as his other two sons. Thought the Kazekage would have liked it better if Kankuro was normal. But oh well, having a gay son was not the end of the world, right? Okay, then there are some things I would like to discuss. Who is this girl? He asked, noticing the girl that had been behind Itachi. Oh, she had been with us always, but why were you hiding there, Kyoko? Asked Itachi. She frowned at him and said, I was not hiding. This place is too small and I didn't want to interrupt when you guys started talking, so I decided to not move. Anyway, my name is Kyoko Nikoka and I am the loyal servant to Naruto Uzumaki. It is my pleasure to meet you, Kazekage-sama. This Naruto kid was starting to become more interesting. First mission and he had already brought 2 high jounin, and don't forget that his son had been blushing with that Danny girl. Maybe it was a good idea to have him around. Okay, it seems like you can win some serious allies, Naruto Uzumaki. Anyway, there are some things I would like to discuss. The first being your sensei for the Chunin exams. I guess you are aware of this, but Itachi-san can't go to Konoha with you. He is a missing nin and they would kill him on the spot. Naruto was about to say something but Kyoko beat him to it. I could go with them, after all it is my work to keep Naruto-sama and Hinata-sama safe. The Kazekage nodded and added the info into the information sheet. Now then, Hinata Hyuga, it is obvious that they would try to take you back. If you don't want to be there I will understand and let you stay here. Hinata shook her head. I would like to go as Hinata Uzumaki. I have to settle some things in that village before I can move on with my life. Naruto blushed at the thought of Hinata, his last name. The Kazekage nodded and wrote the new info. Okay, but be aware that if they try anything and can prove you are Hinata Hyuga, then there would be little for me to do to help you. Hinata nodded and took Naruto's hand, smiling. There would be all. The last thing you need to know is the true nature of this mission. The whole room went silent. The Kazekage looked at everyone and then said, the real mission is to destroy the leaf. And that is it. I hope you like this chapter as it took me a lot to write it. I got the flu and I just couldn't stay awake for a long time, but I finished it. Also, here is a little spoiler. The baby Danielle was carrying was Ranmaru. I will use him on my story, but I like him better like a baby and he will play an important role on the future, so for my story it will be better to have him like a baby. I would like to thank Nightshade for Danielle Windia and her clan, and thanks to Creativity for Kyoko and her clan.